Silent John incremental, another silent instrumental, the nerd rap existential. People compare me to MC Christopher a lot, but the fact is I predicted with significance. I'm the oldest geek rapper by far, save K&R. Compiling kernels, open bracket, cause I rack it. And my teen nerds throw your laser pen in the air and weave it all around like you had no repercussions. Now follow instructions, Professor. Why these discussions consist of nothing but incoherent rambling and babbling? But you just still take notes cause you never know what's happening. I'll drop a little nugget, a tidbit if you will. There were 4 United States presidents named Bill. Really? If you run out of hit points, the game will shout.
Your life force is running out.
If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. Let me start again, put it on like a cardigan, swinging like my name was Mad Mardigan. Which reminds me, Warwick Davis was Willow and a Newok. Leonard Nimoy was Galvatron and Spock. That ain't typecast, I don't know what it. Talk about predestiny, nobody gets the best of me. I've only played one role my whole lifetime. The nerd lifeline, stream through a wicked pipeline. So no one can bite mine, cause mine is original and I write rhymes to burn on a CD, play in the mini-V. Soccer moms yodel back, yodel at little me. I got a sidekick, I gotta stay connected. Watch out for my D-comma, you'll get infected. And you don't wanna be one of my bots, cause I see it all like Saw on the Cyclops. And I won't hesitate to drop your whole net block if you're acting up and you're dumber than a pet rock. I'm about this nerd life, as you can see, spreading like a virus on MP3.
Yeah, on MP3. STC. Shoutouts to Vic, Agnostic One, up your Silent John. Yeah. Nerd Life, Graphing Calculator, HP48G. The G is for gangster. Digital stick, yeah. You know how we do.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and I am with the merchant of grime and the master of rhyme, Bob from Bomini TV. What's up, Bob?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
And we have a special guest. That's right, because we have Canadian Thanksgiving coming up. Blinded Braille and Ninja Kitty not on the panel. Gary, he's been working hard, so we had to call in a ringer. We had to call in a third man. Had to pick up the phone. Pick up the special red one, not the regular black phone. I had to pick up that red phone, the emergency one. Hit that speed dial, and we're bringing him in. Full-time, entire show. Give it up for Finbar Saunders. What up, Finbar?
Yo, dudes. What have I got to do with Canada?
Well, because those guys are on vacation, because they got Canadian Thanksgiving. So
Nova Scotia, that'll do.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, we got a full plate today, because we're going to be talking Steam Deck news, Intellivision Amico, mini update, She-Hulk, obviously, Andor, more arcade one-up drama, some Ripperverse drama, and maybe Death Stranding 2. Is that a possibility? I don't know. Could be. Plus, we got them polls to go over.
You love polls, don't you, I hear?
I do. I love them. Big, hard, sweaty polls. All down my throat. All right. So, Bob, how has your week been doing?
It's been fantastic. I've had an absolute blast. I've been celebrating Bobo-ween on my channel, playing horror games, been exercising, treating myself to a pizza today, so I've been a bit naughty. And yeah, I saw...
What do you put on your pizza? What are your toppings of choice?
Depends on my mood. I love spicy, so I usually get something with jalapenos, pineapple sometimes. I love a bit of pineapple.
Pineapple, that doesn't go on pizza, Bob.
Oh, it goes even better with jalapenos, spicy and sweet. Very nice.
Anything else been going on in the Bobosphere?
Nothing much. I might be starting a new channel, but I'm keeping it under wraps until I actually have some content on it.
A new channel?
New channel. Completely new, something different. I don't think many people will gel with it, but I want to try something new, something different. So
Something
I'm going
new.
for it. New.
Oh, I was excited for a moment. I guess something new is okay too. That's it. So, new channel.
Yeah, I'm going to be working on it throughout October, probably launching it in November. I'm doing recording at the moment for it, and I'm going to like prep the content before going live. I'm going to continue working on Bomini TV, but like Bomini TV is going to be like more of a chill stream, whatever I want, upload news stuff, drama. Well, not really drama, but like arcade one-up drama, copyright drama, that kind of stuff. What it usually is.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Finbar, how's your week been?
Yeah, I've enjoyed my week immensely, Tony. Thank you.
Anything special happening?
Working nights. I was working nights from Monday till Thursday, so I've managed to catch up all the way up to episode 5 of Andor, which is lucky since I'm in the whole show and you're going to fuckers are going to ruin it for me. So, but now I'm caught up, so I'm at the same place as you guys. And then obviously Thursday, well, fucking Daredevil showed up, didn't he? So, and I'm not going to lie to you, I've got a bit of a semi on when he turned up on screen. So.
We'll definitely have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, and then up last what were we on Saturday? So yesterday, Werewolf by Night, awesome as well.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I'm going to watch it tomorrow with the family.
Oh, okay, so you've not seen it, right? But then,
I was going to watch it last night, but then some stuff came up, more important things, so I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Well, I watched it with my 8-year-old, and I was wondering whether that was going to be a good idea or not, but she was okay. No nightmares.
Not yet. I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space with Sidekick Max when he was 8 years old. He was fine the first night, but now he's scared of clowns. So, oops, my bad.
Well, clowns are scarier than werewolves, so.
This is true. Now, for me, my week has been actually really, really good. If you're new to the channel, because we have like 100 new subscribers since last week, something ridiculous like that. So if you're new, you're going to get used to it. We make jokes. We like to party. We like to have fun here. Nothing too serious, but we do discuss serious topics in a fun and educational way. And you'll notice I did put up a poll in the chat because I want to know, do you guys want to see us do more daily streams? Because we've been hitting some pretty good numbers doing these streams that we did this week. So I don't know, maybe we should just do more streams covering stuff instead of videos. Let me know. Also, I've had my own personal drama. I'm not gonna front. It was very hurtful. I stubbed my toe this week. Just coming up the stairs, and I caught it. The little one just sticked out, and I caught it right on the fucking banister. And it hurts like fuck.
That's karma, man. Because you're a cyberbully.
Yeah, I heard something about that. That I'm a cyberbully.
No, that's because you're a frog and you hop up the stairs 6 at a time.
Yeah. I caught my camel toe right on the banister, James. It's more like a moose knuckle, but Anyway, it's been a great week. I'm glad you're all here. If you think this is a family-friendly show, I suggest you leave now, because we're definitely not a family-friendly show. We do get a little bit spicy, a little bit hot, and we like to have fun. I can't stress that enough. This is a fun place to be. With that said, I think we're going to just dive right into the first topic. What do you gentlemen want to talk first? Andor? She-Hulk? Drama?
Your show, Tony, your choice.
All right. We'll go with Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 1 is a shitty game that I can't believe is possibly getting a sequel. In my opinion, Kojima is highly overrated. He needs to be put under control, under wraps. You can't let the man just do whatever he wants and run free, because then you get some really convoluted, strange shit like Death Stranding. But I've heard other people like it. Any opinion from you guys?
I heard it's got... Oh, sorry. Go on, Finbar.
On Death Stranding or Kojima specifically?
Either
I think
one.
the guy's strange. He's a strange man. And he's a bit of a pervert as well, to be honest. And I'm not going to say he was responsible for assassinating the ex-Prime Minister of Japan.
Oh no,
But the jury's still out on that one.
I disavow. I think he did try to sue the newspaper that ran that story.
Yeah,
what
he
do you
did,
think about him, Bob? What do you think about Kojima? Is he a nutbag?
Yeah, he's absolutely insane. I don't think he should have been let loose to make his own game free of any guidance with Death Stranding. I mean, wasn't he the guy who did the Metal Gear series?
Yeah.
Yes.
That I played the first one, and I've seen reviews and stuff of the series, and that game seems to like start out really cool and then just dive into like insane balls off the wall shit as it goes on. I think he's important in the industry and pretty cool, but I don't know, man. He needs some reining in at times.
Yeah.
Which Metal Gear? Sorry, Bob. Which Metal Gear are you talking about? Metal Gear Solid on PS1.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first one. The first one was on the MSX.
I know.
Yeah, I've only played the NES version of Metal Gear.
I think he disavowed that one. I don't think he was involved.
No, that was the second one that he wasn't involved
Snake's
with.
Revenge, right? Okay, so he was involved in the first one, but that wasn't a port. That was like a complete remake, I think.
Yeah. But that's the only one I played because it was on Nintendo. I had Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, when Metal Gear Solid came out, I just wasn't interested in it, right? Hiding in boxes, stealth. I don't like stealth. I'm not a stealth player. I'm going to just go in there and just shoot people in the face.
No, I liked it. I mean, I don't know what came. I don't know if you remember Tenchu Stealth Assassins on the PS1.
Yes.
I don't know if that came first or whether it was Metal Gear Solid or not, but Tenchu got me into stealth. I loved that game. I loved the way you could go behind people, cut their throat, and take their whole head off.
Yes, that was so
As a young
good.
man, that really formulated me as a young man
You'd probably like, what's that, Manslaughter?
into the killer that I am. Yeah,
Manhunt.
Manhunt. That's the one.
Manhunt. I never. That was just violence for violence sake. At least Tenchu was, historical.
Well, Manhunt's basically like a Saw game. You get kidnapped and then you go around killing people. Now, Potion Sword says he played Death Stranding 2, but he hasn't finished the first one. And Joshua Perez says Death Stranding was good, and he doesn't understand the hate that Death Stranding gets. I think the hate comes from people were expecting something else, right? Because all the previews and everything was so off the wall. Like when they were like hinting at the game, and people were thinking Kojima, it's gonna be like a Metal Gear type game, and then it was walking around delivering packages, and I think it was a case of hype versus delivery. Like even if it delivered something good, it didn't deliver what the hype had thought it was going to deliver.
I think people were just sad that he got kicked off Silent Hill, and that's what came next. Death Stranding is what came next, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think Silent Hills look so fucking good compared to what Death Stranding. I've not played it, but it looks good. But it is Marmite.
PT?
It's very Marmite. Love it or hate it. There's a lot of people that say it's shit. A lot of people say it's really good. There's never anybody just in the middle.
I am downloading some serious LimeWire. That's my computer. I don't know why it sounds like that. It works really good. It just sounds really loud. It's an American computer. It's like you got them little pussy computers that are like real quiet, like them pussy cars, them electric cars, and I got this fucking American made. It's got a big old engine in it, fucking 8 block. Just that's why it sounds loud. It's like a fucking Corvette, and you got like a fucking Prius. That's all I'm saying.
Disavow. Shaking my head.
All right, so this comes from Game Luster. Never heard of this website before. Hopefully, they got good editing. It says, mysterious Elle Fanning project may be Death Stranding 2. Recently, it was confirmed that actress Elle Fanning will be appearing in Hideo Kojima's next game. This information was confirmed by Kojima Productions at PAX Australia 2022. However, no more details were revealed about the nature of the project, other than that Fanning would be included. However, today, an accidental tweet by a member of the Kojima production team seemed to indicate that the mysterious project is actually none other than the highly anticipated Death Stranding 2. I don't know who the fuck's anticipating it, because again, I don't think it's me. I don't think it's highly anticipated. Also, I don't believe any of these accidental, like he accidentally tweeted it. No. Come on. How the fuck you write up a tweet, get it, put the fucking picture in and go, Tweet. Oh shit, that was an accident. I didn't mean to fucking tweet that very sensitive information that no one's supposed to know about.
Right. Accident. Like
Yes.
the accidental Street Fighter leaks.
Yeah, accident. Joshua Perez says, I think you're supposed to be a serial killer in Manhunt, PS2. I think that's
you're-
Manhunt 2. Isn't there like a
No.
sequel?
I think in Manhunt, you're a convicted killer on death row, and the guy kidnaps you, and he wants you to make a snuff movie for him. Under threat of death of your wife.
Are you sure?
I don't
Did it have
remember
a
that
sequel?
The sequel, you're in a prison as well. Yeah. I'll double.
You trailed off there, Bob.
Sorry, I hit the mute button too quick. Let me see. Where's Wikipedia, the best resource on the internet for accurate information?
It's a death row inmate, however, blah, blah, blah. You awaken. You're supposed to be, in the first one, you're a death row inmate, yeah. I don't know about the whole snuff film thing. I think that's part 2.
No, that's part 1. Part 2 is more about the guy going insane, and I think because I don't even know if it's a prison or a mental hospital he's in.
It's a mental hospital.
Yeah, and he thinks that I don't even remember exactly.
Yeah, we're getting off topic. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out later. Man, Cunt 2. Yeah. That's phobic, I disavow. It says on October 7, 2022, Katerina Tarasova, a producer with Kojima Productions, who goes by @CopperCat on Twitter, tweeted the following. So many questions. Who's excited to see what's coming next? Hashtag Death Stranding. Hashtag Where Am I? The hashtag Where Am I hashtag confirms that she is referencing the mysterious Elle Fanning project as a poster bearing the same phrase was released during PAX Australia. The tweet seemed to indicate that the project Elle is working on is in fact Death Stranding 2, something that seems even more likely given that she deleted the tweet moments later. Yeah, it's just weird. Weird how how do you accidentally tweet something, right? And then moments later, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have tweeted that.
Well, cocaine is usually the reason.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, like, when I tweet, I don't have to go over my tweets and start reading them. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have tweeted that, right? Like, you just tweet and walk away. So I could see hours later, Kojima picked up the phone, bitch, what the fuck you doing? Why did you tweet that? Then oh shit, then she deleted it. But moments, I don't even think anyone had time to even tell her, hey, what the fuck you doing, right?
Yeah.
Seems planned. And people are watching her account because they know that she's connected to Kojima and all that other shit. So I think this was planned. They knew people were gonna see it. They get to play the whole accidental tweet shit.
I'm so cynical these days. I almost believe nothing's organic these days. Everything's staged on the internet.
Oh yeah, everything's a lie. Everything is.
Yeah. It's like a giant Truman Show.
Yeah.
I think the Earth is a giant Truman Show, and the aliens have created this world to watch us. We're live fucking. This is Big Brother universe, pretty much, and they just watch us kill each other and stuff. That's what I believe. Also, the world's flat, like a pancake.
Yeah.
I know Bob believes the world is flat like a waffle with divots, but no, it's a pancake. So far, very little is known about the game in which Elle Fanning will appear, which is currently codenamed Ocean. Fanning, who is also known for her appearances in the film Maleficent, the TV show The Great, and many more, appeared in the poster labeled Who Am I? That was debuted by Kojima at Tokyo Game Show. The Where Am I poster appearing at PAX features another actress whose features are currently obscured. It is speculated that the actress in the second poster might be Fanning's sister, Dakota Fanning, due to the similar face shape and hairstyle. Dakota Fanning is also an accomplished actress who is known for her appearances in the Twilight Saga and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The sisters have previously worked together on a number of projects, including the 2001 film I Am Sam, where they played two versions of the same character. Here's the tweeting question. We already went over what it says. It says, Tarasova later insisted that her deleted tweet did not confirm the Elle Fanning's project was Death Stranding 2, and that she had meant to include a question mark following the hashtag Death Stranding in order to incite fan speculation. However, it has not been confirmed whether this is simply to cover up. It is known that Kojima has been working on Death Stranding 2, and given the appearance of well-known actors such as Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen in the first game, the sequel starring the Fanning sisters is not beyond the realm of possibility. What do you think? Do you think this is real? Do you think she's going to be in the game?
I think this is a marketing test to see if she's popular enough and if there's enough interest in Death Stranding 2 and if people want her in the game.
I want her in my room. It's fucking hot. I ain't even gonna lie.
No, I think if she is in it, then I don't know if a marketing test is going to matter at this point. I'm sure it's partly done. I'm sure she's already been rendered, etc. But I think I don't know if that's what you think. Whether it was just a try to drum up interest in the game or not. But it probably is. Knowing the way Kojima operates, I don't think anything that he does is by accident.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make sure that it's trending, it's on topic, everybody's still talking about it. Because it's going to be a while, right? It's not like it's going to appear fucking next week. It'll probably, maybe, I'm going to say 2025, knowing Kojima.
Yeah, he's got to get through that whole abandoned fucking...
that whole fiasco. So yeah, I definitely think this is Death Stranding 2. We'll probably hear something more about it, say a month. We'll get another poster. We'll get the confirmation that Dakota Fanning is also in it. I wonder if it's going to be a prequel, a sequel, a side story. With Kojima, it could be like a fucking whole new thing where the first Death Stranding was like a movie that they watched on the TV of the second Death Stranding. That's how fucking wacky he is. So we'll see. What do you think, Bob?
Yes.
Exactly. Great commentary, as always. So I got you. All right. Bob says that this was obviously a plant. Nothing is real. We can't trust anything. And I think that's a great segue into the next topic here. Was there a Ripperverse paid shill?
Yes.
Probably, right? But I'm going to present you some evidence of what I think might have been somebody paid to drum up interest in the Ripperverse.
Is it you, Tony?
Is it me? No, it's not. I wish.
I would say you've drummed up more interest than anybody.
This is a Reddit account here. It is a Redditor called Joker the Fool. It is Game Master 500. And it says, just another guy, just another day in the books. And if you noticed, his posts are all in r/Ripperverse. And he was doing daily polls. Daily polls. Look at that. One day ago. But 1 month ago, he was going real hard. Real hard. But see, the funny thing about this is the only place he was posting. And prior to his decision to start posting about the Ripperverse, well, this man had a 2-year hiatus from Reddit. It was 3 years now, 3 years. So between his first Ripperverse post and his previous post was 3 fucking years. So this guy, he had a Reddit account, and he just stopped posting on Reddit. And then one day he decides, I'm going to make daily polls about the Ripperverse before it comes out. And then mysteriously after the Ripperverse came out, he stopped posting. But I guess he must have got a renewed contract because he just posted a day ago. Now, I know what you're thinking. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what about his comments, right? These are all his posts, but surely the man has commented somewhere else, right? Again, it's all just Ripperverse. Now, I get excited about things, right? But surely I also talk about other stuff. Surely I also go to other places. How could one man have an account dedicated so hard to promoting the Ripperverse? And then again, 3 years gone by between his non-Ripperverse comments and his Ripperverse comment. Or 2 years. I don't know, Jim. It's not a smoking gun, but I think it is a very high probability that he was either paid or fucking Ripper bought the account and it was just Ripper fucking posting. And all of those posts were speculative posts. Hey, what do you think is going to happen in the book? Give me ideas for what the characters are, what their powers are. What do you think their powers are? What do you think this person's abilities are? Tommy O says, who would make an account about one thing? Looks around, I feel attacked. Yeah, I think it's Ripper's ult. He also one of his posts was telling people to make sure that if you want to talk about the Ripperverse, you can join the Ripper membership thing and talk on the Ripper forum about the Ripperverse. So, hell yeah, 56K warning on that case, boys. And we're gonna dig deep. There's a lot of Ripper shilling on threads on 4chan, a lot of places. Now, I did a review on it because I read the book. I bought the book. I read it. I think it's meh, 4.5 out of 10. A lot of other people did reviews where they actually didn't discuss what was in the book. They just said it was really pretty. The art was nice, and the box it came in was fancy, and they're very glad to fight the culture war.
Yeah, I saw that some of those reviews as well. They weren't reviews. They were unboxings, and I don't think a single one of them had any interesting comics apart from Ripperverse. Yeah.
Most of them were like, hey, this is my first comic, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them, which was weird, right? Because a lot of the reviews I seen, if you looked in the background, there was Marvel toys or DC posters or I mean, if you really hate Marvel and DC, why are you buying the new toys, the new posters, the new stuff? Why are they all around your room? And it also kind of feels weird for you to say, I've never read a comic book, but I got all this memorabilia of DC and Marvel shit. Highly sus. You got any interest in the Ripperverse, Finbar?
No, I was going to maybe check it out via my usual means. But you basically read the comic too, Tony, so I don't really have any interest in it anymore.
Oh, don't say that. I don't want to get sued by Ripper. I didn't read the comic on StreamElements.
No. Of course.
Well, I was saying, though, we talked about this before, there's so little content, it's hard to do a non-spoiler review because there's so little which happens in it.
Have you read it, Bob, cover to cover?
No.
Do you have any interest in it now?
I'd even less interested.
Yeah.
Like seeing the art and just some of the poses, it just looks so bad. It looks so amateur to me. Like, I mean, comics involve humans, and I'm sure comic book companies take some time and effort to figure out if poses are feasible, if they're awkward for people to stand in, some logic to like how people are standing and stuff. And that I'm not really a big comic book fan. I don't read many comic books. But if I'm noticing weird poses and awkward stances, and I'm like testing them out in real life to see how they feel if I was actually standing like that and realizing they're almost painful to like contort your body in that way. Like if I'm a noob and I can see it, anyone who knows comics, they're going to look at it and just piss themselves.
Yeah. I do. I read more comics than it's probably healthy for a human being to do. But
I mean, yeah, there's been some odd character design in the past. Like you had Rob Liefeld, and the way he drew characters was a bit crazy. And obviously, there's been times where Spider-Man's been done in like some weird positions and stuff.
Well, sorry, Bob. He's had some. I mean, I suppose it's subjective, isn't it? But he's had some terrible artists. I don't like Humberto Ramos. I think his art is shocking. Batman said some bad artist. Kelly Jones is terrible. But if the story's good, I can look past the art as long as the story engages me. But I think it's now starting to, from what I know of it, coming to the same thinking as Tony's got, or he had before when he was reading through it, is that the guy either using these accounts that we looked at before there is trying to get future stories out of people. He doesn't know where he's going with it. I think maybe he's done this first 96-page comic and it seems to be extremely stretched out from what we've seen. And he doesn't really have anything else in him. And he's now looking for somebody to write this for him, or everybody to write this for him, telling them what they'd like to see. Could be wrong. It feels like that now.
It seems like a massive lack of imagination as well.
Oh, it's a huge... again, it's real basic. And again, the reviews are so fucking weird because I seen somebody review it and said it's a 7 out of 10, right? They go, this is a 7 out of 10 comic. But if it continues the way it is, I'm probably not going to pick up the second issue. I was like, what? How could it be a 7 out of 10? How can you say that it's good, but you're not going to pick up the next issue? That makes no sense.
There seems to be so little explained in it, and it's 96 pages long. So, if he doesn't know where he's going with it now, he's never going to know.
Love the UK view on this channel. Americans suck. Hey.
Who said that?
That was Brady Goat 12.
He's American football avatar.
I think so. I don't know.
And not to like shill for another comic book writer, I've seen some previews, little previews of VO Super Killer, and the little bits of story I've seen from that, like character profiles, in just a short amount of like writing, there's so much world building and intrigue built off just a little tiny bit of information. You can tell the guy's got some imagination and creativity behind him, and he kind of knows what he wants to do. And I'm already very intrigued. I've signed up to the newsletter, and I'm definitely getting Super Killer to support an independent comic writer.
All right, so real quick, we had a super chat or a StreamElements chat, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Apparently the bot didn't catch it. Bad bot, bad. Harry Ballsack tipped $20. Thank you, Mr. Ballsack.
Wow.
He said, here's to more Latino discounted lunches. Thank you. That's 4 lunches right there, gentlemen.
Yeah, for you.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Bob don't get the Latino discount.
You guys get the UK discount, don't you?
Yeah. If you mean UK discount, meaning bent over and fucked up the ass, then yeah. Isn't that right, Bob?
Yep. Austerity 2.0 is coming. We are screwed.
All right, so I'm going to show a few reviews. I don't know if they're reviews or how you want to qualify them. They're from tweets. I screenshotted these because, you never know when these things might disappear. This guy said, sure, but they got to step up their game for number 2. Someone asked, is number 1 not very good? He said, I would rate it 7 out of 10. It was okay, but if every issue is like this, I may not continue getting them.
It's pretty high praise for something he's not going to continue getting if it stays the same.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how's 7 out of 10 a disappointment? 7 out of 10 is good.
Yeah.
Depends on your scale. I mean, some in the video game world, a 7 is almost considered a flop.
Nah, 7 out of 10 is IGN's go-to number, isn't it?
Yeah. Luster Dog says, a lot of the reviews usually start off with the blind praise, then they point out flaws and claim it's nitpicking. Yeah. 56K Warning says, I don't need a world building. I just need a good story. Well, you don't get either one here. Like I said, there's a lot of filler, a lot of stuff that could have just been cut for the wayside. I give it a 6 out of 9. Aw. But we got a more thorough review. So we're going to take a look at that one real quick. This guy, I'm not sure. I didn't see it on Reddit, so I don't know if they deleted it from Reddit or if I'm just not seeing it. This is from Humans Are Wicked. Obviously, this wasn't 10 hours ago. It was 10 hours ago when I screenshotted it, but it says, won't be getting another. I give ISOM a 6 out of 10, maybe 5. Nothing in the comic gave me reason to be interested in this world, characters, or plot. We know nothing about ISOM, so I can't be invested in him, nor do we know anything about any of the other characters. His powers are still undefined. Is super strength it, or is there more? The plot is as generic as it gets. Missing friend, mob boss bad, no reason to be invested in what happens next when we've seen this 100 times. World building is lacking as there's nothing about this universe that seems unique enough to learn more of it. Don't like the art style. If it looked like how ISOM looks on the cover, that would have been great, but it looks cartoony and like an unrendered game at some points, mostly when he puts his costume on in the end. The first book of ISOM should do something that makes it different, better, more interesting than any other comic. What in this comic/world is unique? If not its characters, world, or story, then what? Simply not being woke or not being Marvel and DC isn't good enough. If it were cheaper, I'd keep my opinions to myself until the multi-part story is over. But I'm not paying another $40 on a story that just exists and does nothing new. Continues. Most of its problems is that it's part one to a bigger story, so it's basically a prologue. But that's no excuse when there's 90 plus pages. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Right? All set up, no payoff. It's the introduction to the universe, so tell me why this universe is interesting. Wanted to like it. First physical comic I ever bought, and I stopped reading Marvel and DC in 2019. But this doesn't seem to me it. Everyone is praising it, and I think everyone is praising it, yet it does nothing special. Be honest so Eric can improve instead of praising it because everyone wanted it to fail. Even if it isn't the next big thing, Eric has inspired a lot of anti-woke people to make their own content, and that's good enough for me. Had to throw that in there in the end, right? Hey, don't fucking kill me with the pitchforks, guys. I'm still anti. Still love you.
Is that not all it was really sold on, as being anti-woke? That was its whole purpose, wasn't it?
I mean, kinda, yes, maybe, no. I think he came out and said, I never said that.
Did he not? Has he never said that? I thought he did.
What was that? Say that again?
Has he mentioned that he was making it because he was tired of the wokeness in Marvel and DC?
Well, he just hates on Marvel and DC and says that he's going to make something of his own that's going to be different from Marvel and DC. He just let everyone else call it anti-woke, anti-Marvel DC.
Right.
No, so he passed the buck off. So I do think it is a pretty lackluster start. And obviously, I am invested enough in the YouTube channel to pay attention to it, to check out the next issue. Luckily, it won't be for like 6 months, so I'm not shilling out $35 every week or so. Yeah, it should have been ISOM number 0. Now, realistically, he should have put out some of this. Hell, I would say even the entirety of this for free, like digitally, as like a teaser to what the story is, because this is like fucking nothing.
Potion's asking the same question that I think Blinded was asking the other week.
What does ISOM mean?
It means I got some powers and shit.
I suck off men.
I was racking my brain for what that accurate for that one, and he beat me to it.
Either that or I stand on Marvel. I don't know. Luster Dog says, for that price point and all the hype, you can't use the excuse that it's the first issue, so it's okay if there are flaws and the art is okay. Yeah, the whole first issue thing doesn't fly when it's a 96-page book, right? This isn't a 23, 24-page floppy where you're like, oh, okay, well, I paid $5 for this little comic. You know, it's not that long. No, this is fucking 96 pages. This is 3 and 4 comics.
Yeah.
Why do it for free when you can make $2 million? That's a good point. I've said this before. If the intention was to make money, then Rippa has succeeded by leaps and bounds. Congratulations. If the point is to make a successful comic book that people are going to be coming back week after week to buy, month after month, that's going to become a cultural phenomenon, a cultural cornerstone that's going to become, a video game. Because he was talking, make video games and comic book movies and TV shows and all kind of stuff, right? Those are the big plans you have. This is not the book that's launching that, right? If Spider-Man this is the first issue of Spider-Man, if this is how it was, fucking we would never see a Spider-Man movie. We wouldn't even be talking about it. It would have been forgotten a long time ago.
I'm calling it as I see it. I think it's a grift. It's Grifterverse.
Yeah. I still owe money. Tell me all.
James says, ISOM is going to be bigger than The Walking Dead and Invincible put together.
Oh, crap. Imagine that, an Invincible Walking Dead crossover. That would be amazing.
Pumafist says, there was another review where the dude said if the book wasn't in the 96-page format, he wouldn't have finished it. Still gave it a 7 out of 10. These people are ridiculous. He should be putting it out digitally now that he's sold all of his copies. He should. I don't think he's going to.
Nah, he knows what people will do if he puts it out digitally.
Yeah. All right.
He knows what I'll do.
I wouldn't even waste my bandwidth downloading it.
Well, you don't have to
Who
download
would do
it.
that, Bob? Who would do such a thing?
I mean, if it was released digitally, legally.
Well, if Tony scans it, then...
Well, someone's definitely going to scan it in Storytime on 4chan. And they've been itching to do that. Not me, because I don't do that stuff. I don't even know what 4chan is. But I've heard other people have been itching.
Oh, you know what they say? Fuck them whole ass roads.
No, you got to say it the right way.
Fuck them whole ass roads. And my wife is asleep
Fuck them
upstairs.
whole ass roads, man.
I would have put that in as his catchphrase. That's just me, though. All right. So we got some interesting news. I didn't put this on the little docket, but I think it's fair that we talk about it because I just got DM'd about it. So I got confirmation on what I was waiting on. So I guess we'll talk about it. It's a situation that Bob has covered very extensively. He's the expert on it. Some people will tell you go see Funky Spectrum or something. No. Bomberny TV, that's where you want to be for the Lady Decade situation. Bob, you want to bring us up to speed on this?
Which part? What we discussed?
The whole thing.
So basically, like the timeline of events is at some point last year, April, Lady Decade uploaded a video using copyright stolen. Well, not copyright stolen.
Well, you're wrong already, Bob. Top Hat Gaming Man uploaded the video.
Top Hat Gaming Man uploaded a video on Altered Beast, and they bought a script, and they read off the script, and then they were getting resources for the video. They hire an editor, so they must have got the resources, told the editor how to put it together. One of those resources they got was a picture of Ray Harryhausen, which they sourced from the New York Times through Google. And basically, a year later, the owner of the photograph, who licensed it through Getty Images to New York Times, discovered it and DMCA'd the video. He also sent a letter to their brand manager. And then on the Saturday when Lady Decade received all of this, she put out a video crying about it and making a big drama and a fuss, slandering Martin, defaming him, which led to a lot of harassment towards Martin. And I've been covering it. People have jumped on the story and been covering it. There's been lots of back and forths. Some people are supporting it. Tipster covered it in support of Lady Decade, and so did Rich of Review Tech USA, covered it, calling the small retro community bad, basically, and crapping on a load of people. There's been a few of the smaller YouTubers who have been coming together to spread the true information about this. And as of was it yesterday this video came out? Martin has broke his silence and released a video discussing the ins and outs of the legalities, updating people on the current situation, what's going on. And are we going to react to this video, or do you want me to briefly bullet point it?
Oh, we're gonna play it, watch it, react to it. So this is, I feel totally comfortable sharing this video. Now, on this channel, we've talked about DMCAs, we talked about copyright. I am a proponent for artist rights, not as much as Martin here. He actually does stuff in the real world. I just babble on YouTube. This the stream to hate. This is the stream to hate. So yeah, like Bob said, Martin decided to put this video out to explain his side of the story, because all we've heard so far is the Lady Decade side. Top Hat Gaming Man oddly silent on the whole issue, even though it was his channel. Let's hear what Martin has to say.
Hello, and where to begin? I'm Martin McNeil, currently a fourth-year law student, formerly an editorial and commercial photographer, but mostly I'm a full-time dad to 3 boys. I'm the guy that my dogs like to ragdoll a little and take them out for walks. And I'm married to an awesome woman who's put up with my puns and deadpan dad jokes for over 20 years now. I'm not going to show you pictures of my wife or kids, because who does that? Besides, it wouldn't be relevant to what I have to say. Most of you watching this will know that on August 6th of this year...
If you didn't see the Lady Decade video, which has now been pulled from the internet, she actually showed pictures of her kids in order to drum up some of that sympathy. Now, that's what Martin's referring to in this.
I found myself in a situation that came out of left field regarding a YouTube video and some tweets that preceded and followed it. And in the wake of all that, there's been a lot of wild speculation, wilder allegations, and some frankly unsavory stuff, which I won't waste my breath on. And it's now time to address a few things that have been put out over the last few days and weeks. Before I get into it, I want to start out by saying that for at least 12 years now, I've been a very vocal artist rights advocate, particularly on the issues of artists being paid fairly, in full, and on time. More important...
And since Martin has been such a vocal advocate for artist rights, he has been unfairly targeted, at least in my opinion, unfairly targeted as a patent and copyright troll. And
Yes.
he's been called names, that he's very difficult and things like that. And it's not true. If your thing is being used and being infringed upon, your copyright, it is well within your rights to go ahead and fucking do something about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So people got to understand, he needs to make a living. He has a family to feed just like everybody else. You do not have the right to other people's creative works, no matter how much you feel entitled, no matter how many YouTubers get on here and tell you that you can just do whatever you want. And as long as you slap a little disclaimer on it, it's okay. They're wrong. Don't listen. This is not legal advice, but I'm definitely telling you, don't seek legal counsel from YouTubers on YouTube.
Yeah, this is a guy sweet. This is
Importantly, I've spoken frequently about the need for those in creative industries to be respectful of each other's work and rights. It's a big part of why I ended up starting my law studies with a view to advocacy and consultancy regarding intellectual property rights, and law lecturing as my day job to support that work. I'm old enough to remember the days before Napster, when the internet was a place where creative works were shared around on platforms such as CompuServe, AOL, Usenet bulletin boards, largely without ill intent. But even back then, people began to realize that even the best of intentions can sometimes give rise to consequences.
And before anybody asks, probably thinking, Tony, this whole thing is about copyright. This whole thing is about using other people's work. Why are you showing this video? Obviously, that would be copyright infringement. Am I wrong about this, Bob? I'm not wrong, because I'm never wrong, Bob. We are 100% infringing upon the copyright of Martin McNeil in this video. However, It's okay because Martin has given me his blessing. He said, Tony, you can go ahead and share this video. You can watch it on your stream. You can share it with your fans. Just make sure that you link back to the original video so other people could watch it at their leisure. And so I will be putting both in the chat right now and in the description of this video when it goes live after we're finished streaming, a link. So if you guys want to go back and watch Martin's video at your own leisure, at your own speed, in the comfort of your home, get yourself a nice frosty beverage, some popcorn, sit back and hear the sweet, soothing sounds of this man who is from Scotland, I believe.
My neck of the woods, yeah.
Lean towards the negative. When I started out in editorial photography, Facebook was barely on the scene, Twitter hadn't yet been launched, and Instagram was a few years away from existing. Even YouTube was the new kid on the block, an independent company that wouldn't be bought out by Google until late of 2006. These social media services, which encourage the sharing of images, videos, and other media, are corporate entities headquartered in the United States, and they make use of an exemption that was carved out in law back in 1998, the DMCA. In simple terms, if these services expeditiously remove any copyright content from their platforms at the request of a rights holder, they can't then be sued by the owners of that media.
So did you hear that? And if you didn't understand it, let me say it one more time. The DMCA law says that when contacted by a rights holder, the company contacted has to immediately remove the content from the internet, which means everyone complaining that YouTube takes your videos down. You get DMCA'd and YouTube took your video down. You don't understand. That's the law. YouTube has to do it. YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that has to follow the law so they don't get sued. They don't have vicarious liability. And that man's a lawyer in studying. So he knows what he's talking about. You want to say something, Bob?
Yeah, a little bit. Just in relation to fair use, some people do propose that there should also be another clause in it. Oh no, actually, sorry, I'm wrong on that.
Mitty says, well, actually, since you're reacting to and discussing the content, it's fair use, right? It is, if you stretch it to the fullest stretch, but because we're not reacting to everything he's saying and we're sort of letting it play uninterrupted for long stretches.
We're not really critiquing it.
Yeah. This is like supplemental to the discussion, right? We're not actually critiquing what he's saying. Maybe you might, if you twist your head slightly and kind of squint your eyes, maybe it's educational. We can get that exemption. But like I said, I did reach out to Martin and ask him, and we discussed this. And he said, yeah, go ahead, play it. Because you're awesome, Tony. And, I appreciate your coverage. And then he said something about I'm like the greatest YouTuber in Scotland and everyone on the island knows who I am. And I was like, oh, shit, that's fucking awesome. And then like a unicorn went by my window. So that happened for real.
That's a core function of the DMCA, which has survived intact for almost 25 years now. This is relevant because if we fast forward to July 31st of this year, I found one of my photographs had been used in a video that had been published on a YouTube account titled Top Hat Gaming Man Channel. At first glance, there was no real-world name or address to be found on the About page for that channel. So despite the channel being clearly monetized, I filed a DMCA takedown notice just after 6 p.m. that day. As past experience of trying to contact channel owners directly has been, let's just say there's no matter how polite, professional I am when asking, the replies I get are rarely mirror that tone. Nothing more than a hunch, I went back again the next day to have another look over the channel and used the email address that was published there as a basis for a web search. That soon led to me finding out that Top Hat Gaming Man was a pseudonym for Mr. Richard Varty. It was represented by a YouTuber talent agency called Colossal Influence. A search of Company's House turned up an address for this agency, so I typed up a letter requesting payment of a standard licensing fee for the use of my photograph in Mr. Varty's video. And I sent that letter be assigned for service just after 4 p.m. that day. For anyone out there thinking about whether it's lawful to use two processes in parallel, the simple answer is yeah. A DMCA takedown notification is a provision of US law, I've already said, and it has a functional equivalent of a cease and desist. The host, YouTube in this instance, must comply with it. Because if they don't, they can end up in a situation where they can be sued for what's called vicarious liability. And that's not a position that Google, Twitter, Facebook, or others want to find themselves in. And whilst a cease and desist plays the role of stopping the use of someone's work from continuing, any artist is quite within their rights to also ask for fair payment for the use of work that occurred up to the date that it stops being used. And I'd like you to keep that fact in mind as I move on. As it turned out, my letter to Colossal Influence Limited wasn't signed as received until 9:47 a.m. on the morning of August 6. I have obviously no clue as to why or how it took 5 days for a first-class post letter to be delivered, when the average time is 2. Suffice to say that the fact that my letter arrived on a Saturday morning, after being sent on a Monday afternoon, was so far out of my ability to plan or control, it's ridiculous to even contemplate it. When I woke up that day just after 11 a.m, I fast became aware of two things. Firstly, that I had both a Twitter mention and a separate DM from someone called Lady Decade. And second, that at 9:31 a.m, YouTube had acted on my DMCA takedown notification and disabled the video in which my work had been used by Mr. Varty. Again, a situation outside my control because, in my experience, YouTube can take hours, days, or weeks to action a DMCA takedown request. For it to happen on a Saturday morning was purely coincidental. Remember how I said that I'd learned from experience that dealing with responses to asking people to stop using my work can be a bit of a bumpy ride? A few of the things that Chloe Varty, also known as Lady Decade, said to me in their Twitter DM proved my gut instincts and led to me insisting on dealing with the situation in writing. After closing off the conversation, I really thought that Mr. and Mrs. Varty would take stock and get some advice either from their management agency or wait a few days to get an initial consultation with a solicitor to learn that yes, everything in my letter was both above board and followed the process expected under UK law.
So as you can hear from him, he's doing everything professional. He's doing everything the way he's supposed to. He didn't threaten anybody. He didn't get in anybody's business. He wasn't trying to screw anybody over. He was just trying to get what was his fair piece of the pie. We're not going to watch the whole video. Bob, you want to sum up the rest of it? Robert, you with us?
Sorry, I was on mute. The long and short of it is that later on in this video, he goes into detail about the payment fee. There was a letter sent by, was it a letter or an email? I forget.
Yeah, he
exactly.
sent it by letter because he had it signed for, so it was sent by letter.
No, I mean, he received a letter from Chloe and Richard about settling the matter. And they made a counter offer of paying the money for the use, and that would cover any damages and would be the end of it. And they, by accepting it, that Martin would have to basically not do anything more regards the payment. So basically, in law, which Martin goes into in this video, this has been established for I think 180 years, that counts as a counter offer, which invalidates the previous offer and some craziness like that. So Martin didn't want to accept that and was like, no.
But Bob, I love you, Bob, but you're screwing up some of the chain of events.
But it's so complicated. We should just let the video play. It's hard.
Yeah, but it's a long video. So I'll give you the long and short of it. Basically, like Bob said, they did make a counter offer. They said, we'll pay you the money, but you got to basically give up all pursuit in this case, right? We'll just consider this matter settled. Martin rejected this offer and said no, because, with all the stuff that came out, the defamation that was being done to his character, obviously the original fee was not going to cover the damages that had been done to him. the Vardys got a solicitor, and eventually they decided they were to duck and dodge Martin's emails and correspondence and just send money.
Well, actually, you're missing a point. They asked Martin, the solicitors asked Martin for his bank details so that they
That's
can.
what I was getting to. I was just going to get to that. That's why I said they just sent him money because they had asked him for his bank details. You got to let me finish the sentence, Bob.
My bad.
So they had asked him for his bank details because they said they wanted to, be ready for when everything got settled. So he didn't think nothing of it, gave out his bank details, and they just deposited money in his bank account. And when he's like, whoa, this is not what we agreed with because we don't have an agreement. I want to give you the money back. They kept dodging his email communications. And now what Bob is talking about earlier when he was saying the 108-year-old case, this is where it comes into play because the original agreement, the 457, whatever it is, that was no longer valid. That was null. They've been nullified with the back and forth that they did in the negotiations. The original offer was no longer on the table. So them sending that money now is too late. They should just send it from the beginning, and they would have had no problems. So he then corresponded with them directly, said, hey, either give me some information so I can send you this money back, or I'm going to donate it in charity in your name, and we'll consider this as a return. They obviously didn't get back to him, and he just donated it. He did do a follow-up showing that he actually did donate the money. And that's basically where the situation is now. They have not settled anything. There's going to be further action, probably some defamation stuff, probably going to have to go to court to settle this. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yep. And he has a time limit of 6 years for the copyright issue. And as far as I'm aware, less time for the defamation case. So it's even possible that if Martin decides to go through with a defamation case, that could actually start getting into the works of the legal system before even the copyright issue is even settled.
Yeah. So there was one more thing that we got to cover. And I think it's pretty important. There was a video by a gentleman named Funky Spectrum. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. He has about 2,700 subscribers. Bob, are you familiar with his videos?
Yep. I first discovered him over the Lady Decade situation. He's been covering the situation very consistently. He's had some information. He's the first person I was brought aware to when you brought the letter was leaked, and I forget if it was you who told me or I heard it from Funky Spectrum. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on.
All right, so this is Funky Spectrum's video. But first, CM Retro says he actually gave them a discount. 500 was for like 6 months license. They used the image for like a year. I think it was for a different size because I did see in the letter it did say that that's what it came up to, the 473 for the year. So this is, like I said, this is a Funky Spectrum video. Lady Decade, Twitter harassing revealed. Now we're just going to skip ahead. We're not actually going to read this. You could search out Funky yourself. He's also very, very, what's the word I'm looking for, Bob? Angry. He's an angry little man who doesn't like people using his videos. So we're not going to use his video other than to show this image because it's very important that we discuss this. So as you can see, Lady Decade is the ones on the left. Martin McNeil is the ones on the right. And me and Bob, we watched this last night. We had some questions, right, Bob?
Yeah, some things. We realized a few things which didn't quite add up.
Yeah. So after discussing it, going back and forth, we spent way more time than we should have on this. We did come to the conclusion these were legit. These are the legit Twitter communications between Lady Decade, Martin McNeil. And now you're probably wondering, wait a minute, if you said the blue ones are Martin's, that would mean that Funky Spectrum has the DMs straight from Martin, which could be an issue, right? However, I have sources. I always got sources. You know that. You know me. And that was what I was DM'd just recently. Apparently, these were leaked by somebody close to Martin, but not actually Martin himself. So I guess somebody was kind of fed up with the narrative going out there on Twitter, on YouTube. And so they took it upon themselves to contact Funky Spectrum and leak these DMs without Martin McNeil's knowledge. So if you're seeing this video, if you watch it and you think, oh shit, fucking Martin leaked his Twitter DMs, he was trying to hit back at the Vardys, it's not what happened. I did have that suspicion. I think Bob did too, but
not gonna lie, it was a bit suspect at a ridge once we realized what was going on.
So just wanted to clear that issue in case anybody else had the same suspicion. It wasn't Martin that leaked them. Someone else did. I think that just about covers the whole situation.
Yep, and I do want to say I was still, even though I was a little bit, maybe it is, and I was still defending Martin. I didn't really believe he would do it. I was, nah.
You're on the fence?
I'd say I was close to the fence. I don't think I was on the fence.
Fair enough. Lady Decade fucked up, and this could set precedent. I was telling Max earlier.
Yeah.
Max, this could set a precedent on YouTube for this type of situation. Always try to contact. It's not that hard to email somebody, be like, hey, really like your photo. Could I use it? And then you negotiate whether or not the guy wants to charge you, whether or not he thinks being credited is enough, or a link, or a shout out, or whatever. Some people like their work being shared. Some people don't. Some people will charge you a license fee. And if that's the case and you can't afford it or you don't want to pay it, then look for some other picture, some other photo.
And silence, if you contact someone and ask them, silence isn't go ahead and use it. Like, no. Yeah,
if someone doesn't directly say, hey, go ahead and use my photo, then don't use it, right? They might not have got your communication. It might have been in their spam filter. They just might have ignored you because they're like, who the hell is this guy contacting me, right? But
yeah, they might think you've got a bit of a cheek.
Yeah, but not answering you, it does not mean okay. No response is not a yes. All right. I feel good. Justy says, never mess with a 4-year law student. They are too eager. Has Finbar spoken at all? Yes, he has.
Not on this subject. That doesn't interest me enough. I just don't think it wasn't a good look. I mean, when the photo went up, it was on Top Hat Gaming Man's channel, wasn't it? And then the guy decided he'd been caught with his pants down. He cut a few onions up in front of his wife and shoved it in front of a camera. It was bad. It looked bad all around. And I understand she's made a fortune, or they've made a fortune from this. And this poor guy, fellow Scot, has had nothing but nonsense thrown his way. So yeah, even if he was the one that leaked the DMs, I would, to be quite honest, if it came to that.
Well, it's when there's a legal case on. If you ask a solicitor whether you should, they'd tell you no 99% of the time, and 1% of the time they'd tell you fuck no.
Yeah. I found it really easy to contact people and just ask to use the content, or ask them to make content that you could use on the channel. You'll be surprised how nice people are when you send them a nice email or nice correspondence on DM. Myself in Comics loves your accent. She wants to know where you're from.
Finbar.
Mr. Finbar?
I've told her.
Oh, he said Scotland specifically.
Oh, the emoji doesn't show up. Shit.
Oh, it's a flag.
Can you see it?
It's a
Yeah, it's a black
Oh,
flag.
because I'm watching through StreamYard. Yeah. There it is. No detail on it though. It's supposed to be a Scotland flag.
ah.
Uh,
I've got a lot of family up in Scotland.
So have I, Bob.
No, I wouldn't have guessed that, dude.
But unfortunately, I'm 410 miles from them.
Oh, bless.
there's no such thing as Scotchtoberfest. You used me, Skinner.
Just me, Skinner. Yeah, yours, me. See, I never took offence to that. Why did everybody take offence to a poo? Don't
No
understand
idea.
it. And the Bumblebee man, right, Tony?
Yeah, I love the Bumblebee man. Ay, ay, ay. No es bueno. It's fucking fantastic. Anyway,
Oh.
let's get into She-Hulk, because that's what Finbar's here. That's he's the expert.
Well, that and Star Wars.
That's did you watch She-Hulk this week, gentlemen?
Oh,
Hell
yes.
yeah.
I was like I said, I was fully tented through most of the episode.
So, what do you think out of 10? What would you give the episode? No spoilers. Just what do you think, Bob?
No spoilers. 9.
I'm going to be even more generous. I'm going to say a 10.
Dang, 10?
Yeah, this is the show I wanted from the start. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I thought the humor was spot on. The characters were spot on. Everything about it perfectly gelled. And it made me more disappointed about the episodes prior to it, because it seems like they've just gotten like their feet on it. They feel like they've just hit it perfectly after so many episodes. And it's a shame we've only got one episode left, because it feels like they've just hit full stride with it. And it's like, no, there's only one episode left and they've just got it so right.
Yeah. So Finbar gives it a 9. Bob gives it a 10. How is it that I am the lowest one on the panel? I usually love She-Hulk, and I'm going 8.5. It was good. It's not great. I didn't like the whole narrative with the intelligentsia being like incels and like hating her because she's a woman. I think that's played out. Like, come on.
Yeah, but that can't be what they are. Like, there's going to be something else behind them, right?
That's
Yeah, well-
diversion.
This is the public facing.
Well, you gentlemen might not be aware of a man called Doomcock.
No.
But Doomcock is a controversial figure here in the YouTube space. He's one of those Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired and they ruined Star Wars types. And he wears a mask. And the mask that the intelligentsia agents showed up with was very close to his. Like, he was actually trending on Twitter for a minute.
Right.
Here we go. This is from Matt Jarbo. I'm not a good friend of the channel, but we're all right. We're pretty cool. So as you can see, on the left is the She-Hulk image, and on the right is the Doomcock image. It's pretty close. Myself, I thought it was more of a an anonymous reference, the way that it came on with the static and the way they talked. People have taken it to be that this was a Doomcock reference. They also referenced the Red Hulk on this episode.
Yes.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And so now that we've gotten the basics out, we're going to spoil it because that's what we always do. So this episode, Jennifer Walters, right at the beginning, she gets a new case, a new client. The amazing Leapfrog comes to her and says, hey, my fucking boots are all fucked up. I used this costume that I got from Luke and set me on fire. I got third-degree burns all on my legs. I want to sue him for selling me a malfunctioning costume. So she's on the fence. You know, Luke makes her clothes. She doesn't want to piss him off. ultimately, she's forced into defending a Leapfrog in court. So she goes to Luke. She says, well, let's try to settle this out of court, right? That way I can still get my dress. He's like, bitch, rips her dress, is like, trying to sue me in court. I don't make faulty shit. I make good shit. So they get to court, and wouldn't you know it, Matt Murdock, of all people, is Luke's lawyer. Jennifer Walters tries to subpoena the names of all of his clients. The judge rejects that under the privacy and for protecting their families of the people who are superheroes getting these costumes from Luke. Ultimately, Daredevil tricks Leapfrog into revealing that he used the wrong fuel in his costume, and that's what set it on fire. The costume wasn't faulty. It was bad user malfunction, user error. Eventually, this leads to Matt Murdock and She-Hulk being at the lawyer bar. Apparently, this is like the only bar in the city that all the lawyers go to, because he's always running to every single lawyer in the show, goes to the same bar. They run into each other. They have a nice back and forth. But ultimately, Matt Murdock is called away. He says it's on business. We're not sure. But Jennifer Walters also gets a phone call. She's called away. Leapfrog needs help. He's being attacked. And she goes to help him, and wouldn't you know it, it's fucking Daredevil. Daredevil is now attacking Leapfrog in his car. This leads to a fight between Jennifer Walters and Daredevil. The classic two heroes meet for the first time and end up fighting each other, but then discovering quickly that they're on the same side. Because you see, Leapfrog has kidnapped Luke, and he's forcing him to make him a new costume, and possibly costumes for his henchmen. He's hiding at his not-so-secret hideout called the Lily Pad, which is fucking awesome. It's filled with frogs and Frogger machines, and they just go overboard with the frog references, and I love that part. That's probably my favorite part of the whole show.
Me too.
Then, Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, and Daredevil, they're trying to decide how to go in there. And Daredevil's like, hey, you've never done this before, follow my lead. And Jennifer's like, no, don't worry, we're just going to go in there and crack some skulls. He's like, no. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to sneak around and drop people one at a time, and it'll be real quiet, and no one will know we're there. And he does this like flip off the building because it's fucking awesome. And he starts whipping ass, Daredevil style. He even gets a little hallway fight. Then all of a sudden, there's like a gang of like 5 or 6 guys. They're coming at Daredevil. You're like, oh shit, it's gonna be a big ass hallway fight. We're getting a full scene. Next thing you know, Jennifer Walters comes crashing in through the ceiling, knocks them all out, subverting your expectations. They then go inside, start cracking heads, and they save the day. They save Luke. Jennifer Walters gives a statement to the police. Daredevil, he's on the roof hiding out. He's not really a talk to the police kind of guy. Then again, Jennifer Walters and Matt Murdock, they have a nice little heart-to-heart discussion about things, about life. And they decide to go back to Jennifer Walters' place and get it on. Which, of course,
fucks.
She does. And so does Daredevil. And that leads Daredevil to do a walk of shame. I don't know if it was really shame, because everyone's like walk of shame, but I mean, he probably was pretty happy, right? She was happy as hell with what happened. And it's funny because the friend, she's like, yeah, I just saw a guy in a devil costume doing a walk of shame, and She-Hulk's kind of like, yeah, he was here. And I fucked him. And you think that's the end of the episode, right? Because a lot of shit happened. And you're like, oh, but there's still more. And even She-Hulk, she talks to the camera. She's like, what's going on? Why is there more to the episode? Isn't the episode supposed to be over? Came to a satisfying conclusion. But no, they got the big female lawyer of the year gala, which again, this part right here was kind of cringy, because they go to this big gala for female lawyer of the year. And the guy presenting is kind of talking down to the women, like, oh, look, it's a female lawyer. How quaint, right? What's it like being a female lawyer? And the one lawyer's like, she plays into it. The other one's a little pissed off. Jennifer's kind of upset. She wants to talk to her family. She's like, fuck this. I'm just going to want to say thanks to my family. And then the intelligentsia strikes with their Doomcock mask. And they reveal that the She-Hulk fucks, which is bad, I guess. So they play the secretly recorded. It was kind of a weird angle because they never showed the dude recording from a couple episodes back, the one that took the blood. But apparently they've shown it. Apparently he was recording the whole time, and the intelligentsia starts showing the footage of them getting it on. This pisses off She-Hulk, obviously, and she tears down the whole screen, and she's screaming, and everybody freaks out, and they're running out. And somehow, which is, again, is really weird, because somehow the Department of Damage Control is on the scene like that. They're fucking there. By the time she gets out of the building, they're already there, and they arrest her, and the episode ends.
That could be explained easily, though, Tony. They could have, if they knew She-Hulk was going to be there, so probably Damage Control's hanging about outside anyway.
Yeah, but they've never shown them any other moment because she's been hanging out at the court, at other places.
Yeah, but they're always undercover.
Maybe the only thing I could see is maybe the intelligentsia tipped them off, like, hey, She-Hulk's rampaging, even before she rampaged.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if that broadcast of them slut-shaming She-Hulk was broadcast elsewhere. We don't get any information on that. We don't know if that was just at the female lawyer conference thing.
I think it was just at the female lawyer conference thing in order to upset her so that she would have the freak out.
Yeah.
So she go full Kerry.
Yeah.
I almost thought we was going to see like go a little bit further, being like savage She-Hulk.
Yeah, I was hoping she was going to rip that one dude she had in her hands in half.
Yeah, I was a bit worried that was going to happen or something worse.
Yeah, Voltaire brings up a good point. The Gallup part is bogus. Law schools have been more than 50% women for years. It is the same for judges and other lawyers. Yeah, it felt like a story that should have been taking place like 20 years ago. Like, I think we're beyond that now, right? Like, most dudes are not like, well, lawyers are men, and why is that woman being a lawyer, right? We're just like, whatever now. CM Retro says it's nice to see She-Hulk doing She-Hulk stuff. Yeah. It's not a walk of shame for guys, it's a walk of pride. You know what I was surprised at? Daredevil's holding his boots and he's walking and he has no socks on. I'm thinking, does he not wear socks?
Maybe he does. Maybe they're in his boots because, I mean, you're not going to take your boots off and walk around in socks, are you? I mean, I'm
going to put boots on. I'm not going to walk around without boots on to begin with. If I have boots, why am I carrying them?
Maybe he just wanted to feel grass under his feet. Maybe he was like all loved up. He was like, oh, I want to walk on some grass. I'm going to, you know.
Puma Fist says the woman saves the man, expectations not subverted. Well, not really. It wasn't that she saved him. It was that they had two different approaches to the situation. Daredevil wanted to go in there stealthily and not make a lot of noise, not do a lot of damage. And She-Hulk, who's not really a superhero, she still hasn't really gotten her feet wet. This is her first henchman fight. She just crashes through, like, not thinking. Don't read too much into it, right?
And I think his approach was obviously the right one as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to, like, cause She-Hulk any legal problems because of all the property damage she's causing.
Well, he said that when he was in the car park, when he turned to her and said, have you ever smashed a car park to pieces?
Yeah.
And that was other people's cars she was trying to throw at him.
Yeah, when she threw the car, she picks up a car at one point. She's fighting Daredevil. She's missing. So she picks up a car and just chucks it at him. And I'm like, that's a dude. That's like a normal dude you just chucked a car at, right? Like,
yeah, it was pretty overkill.
Yeah, it's like, if you would, she missed. Luckily, she missed, right? But if you didn't miss, you would have just killed that dude. Like, I think that's supposed to show that she doesn't really understand her powers. She thinks she does, like the Hulk was telling her. You know,
imagine that's what they did. We waited this long for Daredevil, and fucking She-Hulk just flattens him with a car. When he shows up.
CM Retro had the same thought, except for the Daredevil walk of shame. That was dumb, as Matt would have put his boots on It's not like he's wearing some uncomfortable heels. Yeah, that's the whole point of holding the heels is because they're uncomfortable, right? His boots
Yeah.
wouldn't have been uncomfortable. He should have just put the boots on. Myself in Comics says that's not the point of the gala, though. That was the point of the episode's gala. Like a real gala would just highlight like female lawyer of the year, right? But the dude was talking down to them like being a female lawyer is somehow like quaint, like a female doctor, right? Like something that you're not supposed to expect. It's like, oh, you actually made it as a female and you made it to be a lawyer? She's just an irrational bitch. I don't think she is, Puma Fist. She was pretty rational. I mean, we all have our outbursts. I could see why she was a little upset. Overall, I thought it was a really good episode. And this is like you guys were saying, this is the show I wanted, right? This is the show that it should have been. Every week, different case. You get people popping in and out, random heroes, random villains, and then in the background, an overarching story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the court scene. Yeah, having it in the court was quite good. It was good having Matt Murdock versus Jen Walters. And I don't know if this is the first time it's been mentioned as well in the MCU. Is the first time they've said that the Sokovia Accords have been repealed?
Yes, I noticed that.
This is the first time they've said that, isn't it?
I think so.
I believe so too, yeah.
So the Sokovia Accords repealed. They mentioned the Red Hulk. It was taking a jab at those, hence Mallory's statement. Yeah, but it is, but it isn't, right? You include that stuff because on some level the writers think that this is actual how people are. So I'm wondering, and I think I said this on Mad Max's stream, not here, but I'm wondering if they're going to go ahead and instead of making the Red Hulk, if Titania is going to show up and become the Red She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, Betty Banner is the Red She-Hulk, but she's not really been very relevant in the whole Hulk sphere. They kind of shifted.
Sorry, Tony. Titania was supposed to be, as far as I understood when they announced the casting and stuff, she was supposed to be the main bad guy.
Right.
So, and she's the last time we saw her, she was like being embarrassed. So, she's going to be even more mad now than she was before. I think she had her veneers knocked out last time we saw her, so.
Yeah, so I could definitely see her hooking up with the intelligentsia, or them like, hey, you want to beat the She-Hulk? Because they obviously for some reason they have this real weird grudge against the She-Hulk. So I could see them giving her the She-Hulk blood to increase her strength, so that way she could take She-Hulk on.
I think you may be right. I just hope it is the leader at the head of it. I don't want it to be just.
I do think the leader is going to be the head. And I think also maybe we'll get a little MODOK, at least a mention of his pre-MODOK form, because I believe he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And from my understanding, the rumor is that the dude from the first Iron Man, or not the first Iron Man, the first Ant-Man.
Darren Cross, isn't it?
Yeah, that he's going to be...
Jacket. Yeah. Well, this is what Blinded said last week, and I was initially when he said that, because that's the first time I'd heard it, I was a bit, but then the more I thought on it, I thought, well, it kind of makes sense. The guy has been sent to the quantum realm, and we haven't seen anything of him, and he's not dead because.
I'm trying to remember when in Ant-Man. Does he shrink and disappear, or does he shrink and turn into like a little
subatomic? Yeah. So when he's fighting him at the end, he goes subatomic and he disappears. And then at the time, we think when you go subatomic, you're dead, because that's what's supposed to have happened to the first Wasp.
Right. Yes.
But we find out later that she's still alive, and when Scott Lang goes subatomic, he survives it as well. So yeah, Darren Cross is probably out there somewhere, and I don't know. I'd like to see how he turns into MODOK. It's a pretty big fucking change to make from a human being to that. So,
well, they did it in the Marvel video game, so they've kind of like prepared people for kind of that evolution.
Yeah, well, that's how he is in the comic books. He's just a normal dude that gets turned into MODOK. Well, depending on which Modoc, there's like 5 of them. Then there's the Donald Trump Modoc. So, Zero Hero says you could also see his helmet in Loki. Yeah. Puma Fist is saying that I guess you guys have a higher tolerance for modern feminist writers than I do. I don't have a tolerance for anything. I just like things that I like, right? I like what I like. I don't care what the beliefs of the writers are, as long as they deliver a product that I'm entertained by.
Yeah, I really couldn't care less about whether it's got feminist themes, gay themes, racial themes, whatever. It's cool. If whatever the writer wants to incorporate is cool with me. I really loved Miss Marvel. I thought that was one of the best series Marvel's done. And some people might be like, oh, well, it's all about whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, it's cool.
So overall, great episode. I would have liked more of it in this style of episode, but we get one more episode. Hopefully, it lives up to it. Hopefully, they get a second season. I hear Marvel wants to move away from the TV show format and do a more special format like they did with Werewolf by Night.
I'd be down for that. That'd be better.
I don't know. I think certain things lend themselves better to a TV show. But again, it depends on what you're going to do, right? Like I was saying with Armor Wars, for me, I would rather have a villain of the week episode type thing where War Machine is going up against other armored supervillains to recover the Stark tech, like in the comics.
Yeah.
So you could have some of those obscure villains that use armor, have them show up. And he gets into fights. He's got to figure out how to beat each one because, they're all different. They all have different abilities and stuff. And then the overall arcing is, well, who is giving these guys the armor? Who's giving these guys the Stark tech? And then in the last episode, either he figures out who it is, doesn't catch him leading to season 2, or he figures out who it is, catches him, and that's the end of the whole show, right?
Well, sorry, Tony. I've always thought that X-Men would lend itself quite well to a TV show.
Same.
Well, they did because they have a cartoon that's really good.
Yeah, but I mean,
an MCU's TV
yeah,
show.
I wouldn't say in the same vein as the Fox films, but I'd like to see them do classic X-Men and then work all the way through until they get to giant size and they change the team and keep going. It'd be good. I just don't think they've got enough time in a film to give every character justice. But they're giving Daredevil 18 episodes, so they must have a lot. Thanks for that. And he's getting some time in Echo as well, so.
Yeah. So hopefully they bring more people in.
There was a lot of people talking about as well how they didn't like, they've ruined him. They've said they've made him not serious. Anybody that's saying that needs to go back and read Stan Lee's original run on it. He quipped all the time, like not as much as Spider-Man, but and his acrobatics as well. The Netflix show didn't show his acrobatics as much as this one episode did.
They showed fucking those acrobatics in this. He from the top of the building, he flipped down.
Yeah,
this shit was nice.
That is Daredevil from the comic books.
Yeah, and like when characters cross over in comics, don't they generally adopt the tone of the comic they're in?
For the most part.
So I really don't get that. I think a lot of us were expecting Daredevil to be more in line with the tone of the She-Hulk show.
Well, he'll serious up when he gets his own show, and I think maybe he'll be a bit more serious in Echo as well. I did like though when he mentioned to She-Hulk that he was Daredevil, that a few bars from the TV show played. The theme song.
Yeah,
Netflix theme song. I like that. I like that nod to it. I still think this is not the same universe. I think this is separate continuity from that, but I liked it. I like the nod to it. And I hear as well, I also understand Eldon Henson's been cast again as Foggy, so that's quite good news.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a separate timeline so they could pick and choose and say, well, some of the events happen, some of the things happen, but not all of them.
Well, they've got the multiverse now, so it's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily explained.
But in Daredevil Born Again, I'm hoping that they bring in more characters, that they bring in the Marvel Knights, Punisher, and stuff like that. If it's going to be 18 episodes, they got to have something, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to bring back the original actor for Punisher?
Yeah, I think they've talked about that. I think John
Right.
Bernthal has said he wants to do it as well.
Good, good.
There is a few I want them to drop. I want them to drop Finn Jones. I don't think for Iron Fist, and I don't think Luke Cage is Mike Coulter's. He's not getting any younger. I think he's going to be 50 soon. So
Is he that old?
He's what? Sorry,
I didn't realize Michael Colton was that old.
I don't. He may not be. He may be in his 40s, but he is getting old. By the time they get round to Luke Cage, he's going to be even older. I'm just going to quickly find out. He's 46. So by the time they get round to Luke Cage, he'll be 50. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is true.
And he's only going to get flabbier. Yeah.
You know what's funny is the guy they got playing King. He buffed up for the new Creed movie. He would have made a good fucking Luke Cage.
Yeah. I mean, is he tall though? Is he that tall? Luke Cage needs to be really, really tall.
Let me see.
I mean, he can just wear platform shoes and flares like Robert Downey Jr. Surely.
Robert Downey Jr. wears
For Iron Man 1 or 2 or both of them or all three, he wore platform shoes and flares in order to be taller.
Because Mike Coulter, I thought, wasn't even tall enough for that role, and I think he's over 6 feet.
Well, Jonathan Majors is 6 feet.
Yeah, he's too short. He needs to be taller than that.
Michael Colton is 5'9".
No, that's it. You got the wrong guy, Tony. You got the wrong guy. You probably found a white guy. He's 6'3". I looked him up.
All right. Yeah, I probably got the wrong one.
To me, I think you know it didn't look good with him against Kristen Ritter because she's quite tall. Should have cast shorter Jessica Jones.
Let's see. Yeah, Mike Coulter is 6'3", yeah. But he never even looked big enough as far as his muscles and stuff.
Physique-wise, yeah.
Like he always looked like he had like a little beer gut.
I mean, I think he was about 40 when they made that show, so can't really blame him. I mean, condition.
Well, you can't blame Mike, but you can blame the people that fucking cast him.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true.
Anyway, I think that's it for She-Hulk. Puma Fist is convinced there's a feminist agenda in entertainment since the 50s, and even shows like Andy Griffith were woke. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All I will say is, if you go looking for woke, you're going to find it, even if it's not there, right? The same way that people who go looking for misogyny find it, even when it's not there. Just enjoy things. Learn to love things.
Yeah, switch your brain off and you'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for some juicy drama, Bob?
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I should have done a bit of prep before this. I wanted us to maybe get some recorded footage of gameplay of the cabinet so we could analyze that.
Why would we need gameplay and recording? We're not talking about games, Bob. We're talking drama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's get some more subscribers, Tony.
Yeah, what's up, obsessive compulsive? So if you were watching our show the other day, I dropped a little tidbit at the end.
Yes.
Rainwater Games was in the chat. It's kind of needling me. He was, I wouldn't say he was rude, but he wasn't exactly friendly, a little snarky. And so I dropped the nugget that, hey, I remember the time that you false copy struck Overthink Gaming. And boy, was I not expecting the amount of
Cope.
panic and just fear that statement had made. Okay? So I got a DM shortly after. I want to say maybe the next day. It's from one of, I'm not going to reveal who it was, but it's from one of Rainwater's friends. They said, Rainwater is scared shitless. He's crying, literally crying on the phone, worried about what you're going to say this Saturday.
What have you done, Tony?
Cyberbully. Potion was right.
It gets worse. This is Rainwater Games channel. You'll notice there isn't a single arcade 1-up or iArcade video left on his channel. He's completely removed every single video mentioning the home arcade markets.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
So, as much as I would like to have brought to you this whole situation and maybe given you Rainwater Games' side of the situation, unfortunately, I can't because the man has went into full panic mode. Obviously, this is what an innocent man does, just hides everything from the channel, right?
Yeah.
But fortunately, we also have Overthink Gaming side of the story because his video is still live. Now, I do have it on good authority that Rainwater did try to reach out to OTG and say, hey, can you take that video down? Can you do me the favor? Take that video down? Because it was down temporarily for about 45 minutes. This video was no longer available. This is Rainwater Games. The II Arcade shill is a liar. Full story. The truth. And so we're going to take a look, see what happened. What was this situation?
Guys, Jason here with Overthink Gaming, and today on the channel, I want to fuck up Rainwater Games. And what I mean by that is I want this video to be the first video you see when you search Rainwater Games. I want this video to pop up. I want him to see this video's thumbnail over and over because I'm going to tell the truth and I'm going to do, he doesn't fucking know who I am. I show fucking receipts. I have a reputation for this shit. I'm going to show my receipts and we're going to fuck his ass up by that because this dude is a fucking liar.
All right. He drags on. Let's get to the point. So this is John Diamond, or John D, as you might know him. It says, Jeff Rainwater, I'm not letting you off the hook on this. You come to an Arcade 1-Up fan page on iArcade's #1 advocate and call me out and pimp your product. I answered your questions yet again. What would happen if I did that on iArcade's fan page? And no disrespect to Jong, as me and him are Sony boys and want each other to succeed. Now it's my turn. No video responses, please. How many iArcades have been sold in your educated estimation, more or less than Frogger? How many royalties are they paying out to their licenses, and how much does it affect their bottom line? How much do they invest in software development, and how much does it affect their bottom line?
That was funny. That's what this dude does,
When
man.
was that? When was that response made?
November 10th of that year, probably, because this is like a year-old video. So I think November of last year.
Yeah.
So what had happened? What was the situation? Well, the situation was Arcade 1-Up. It wasn't an event from them, but it was from Console Kits. He was basically had a thing on his channel that said, hey, let me know what you think are the best Arcade 1-Up cabinets of 2021. And Jeff Rainwater, being the iArcade pimp that he is, he basically called in and was talking up iArcade products on this stream that was supposed to be about Arcade 1-Up. When he was called out on the situation, he decided that the best way to react was to try to copy strike people.
Oof.
And apparently he was also making fun of the way people talk. Can I ask you a question?
He did this shit to fucking belittle fucking UAG, make him look stupid. And anything he says, you're really gonna believe a guy's words that says X. That's the way I fucking took it. There's a whole culture on the way people speak. People speak differently. People get brought up speaking.
So yeah, Jeff was going at UAG for the way he spoke.
UAG.
Yeah, that's your average gamer.
Yeah.
One up cabinet. Like I understand that that's your favorite cabinet, but yeah, let's be real. Like, it's fair is fair.
Let me fix this then, I guess, because apparently everybody else thinks it said something else. So let me just take care of it. Let's see if we can maybe.
All right, so this is the part where he's real cute. What he goes into is the members only, and
So he went into Console Kits member only, and he's going to show this message. And we don't want to get all over things gaming, but he's going to show this message, and he's going to conveniently crop out the bottom, which has a big arcade 1-up thing on it. And he's basically going to say, well, see, it says in the message, members, leave a message of your favorite cabinet of 2021. He's going to say, see, it doesn't say arcade 1-up right there, right? However, the full message, as noted by Overthink, has this huge best of 2021 arcade 1-up thing. So, and when he got called out by Overthink Gaming for doing this, that's when he decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try to copy strike Overthink Gaming. So yeah, Jeff Ringwater. I would have loved an explanation from him about the whole situation and to really dive deep into it, but unfortunately, the man has gone into hiding. So I guess we got to talk about some other drama. Gentlemen, when you go on holiday, because I know that's what you guys call it. We call it vacation here in the U.S. But when you go on holiday, do you typically take a set of tools with you?
No.
Set of tools?
Yeah, set of tools.
Oh, no.
Well, you were going to say depends.
Well, I mean, I might take a guitar if you consider guitar a tool.
I don't.
Consider that an instrument, Bob.
Yeah, it's an instrument, but like it's a tool of the trade.
All right, well, so here is this video from Kongs R Us. This was from Evo. Okay.
Right.
So I just made it to Evo at Mandalay Bay, and look what I found. Yes, it is indeed the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 pre-production sample version of the cap, unbuilt at the moment. We'll get this fully built. I'll do a...
So see this toolbox here. Now, you're probably wondering what's going on. What's the situation? Well, at this point in time, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had not been announced by Arcade 1-Up. When Kongs and the gentlemen all went to Evo that year, which I think is this year, when they went to Evo, they were surprised. They surprised Kongs with this Arcade 1-Up cabinet of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, announcing that the cabinet is going to be released. And conveniently, Kongs had a toolkit with him, so he was able to put this together. Now, if you don't know, Kongs was one of the people in the quote-unquote Illuminati chat with John D. And he claims that he's never gotten inside information from John D. But I ask you, gentlemen, if you never got inside information, how the fuck do you show up to Las Vegas with a toolkit ready to put together an Arcade 1-Up cabinet that you had no idea existed, let alone that you were going to get?
I have two comments on this. One, how do we know he brought the toolkit?
Yeah.
Oh, how do we know? Because, Bob, there's another video where they show them going to the airport.
Yeah.
And the blue toolkit is with them.
And number two, maybe they were like, you might want to bring your arcade building toolkit.
John D's just like, hey, I can't tell you why, but just bring your Arcade 1-Up building toolkit.
Yeah. You never know.
Trust me, you're gonna love it. Bring your kit.
All right. Zero Hero says this wasn't a surprise, as that's why they all went to Evo. Yeah, I'm fairly certain 1-Up paid for the suite that they stayed in. We all knew this was going to happen.
Oof.
Yeah, and again, this isn't really about like I don't care, right? Like go ahead, tell him, hey, bring a toolkit. I'm gonna have you put together a cabinet. The point is to disclose, hey, yes, John D told me ahead of time this was gonna happen. Obviously, I couldn't tell anybody because they wanted to keep it under wraps until it was formally announced or until we made the video, right? But there should be disclosures. And that's not the only time that Arcade 1-Up did some things that might be, I don't want to say controversial, but suspect, right? Highly suspect.
I mean, yeah, they should disclose stuff, but well, yeah, I mean,
there's no buts, Bob. They should disclose stuff. That's it. Now you're probably wondering, what's this? Gameplay at the Galloping Ghost. As you can see, this is Steps Gaming. This gentleman here is Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Why am I bringing this video up? What could possibly be the reason? Well, real simple. Ezekiel here just happened to show up to the Galloping Ghost. See, Ezekiel doesn't actually make content. He has a YouTube channel with 1 subscriber. He does not work for Arcade 1-Up. I have verified this. Don't worry. But he showed up to the Galloping Ghost arcade here in Illinois. It's not in Chicago. It's like in Brookfield, which is sort of Chicago, incorporated Cook County. Anyway, he showed up with a bunch of hats and sweaters for Arcade 1-Up. He passes them out.
It's happening. Welcome to the
isn't that P-Dubs?
Yes, that is P-Dubs.
I'm so kidding. That's so fun. All right, we're going to do some gameplay video because...
And that is Kongs R Us talking, working the camera. Now you're probably like, well, what's the big deal here, right? What is the big...
I got a new guy that you got.
I know that, guys. Oh, that's
UAG.
That's Kongs R Us.
It's Kongs. This is Steps. Obviously, that was P-Dubs. And I think that's it as far as the Illuminati group.
Kristen Steps Gaming. Oh my goodness.
So they're having a good old time. Good old time. Partying it up. Look at them at cabinets made for adults. Yeah. Why would I bring this up, gentlemen? Why do you think?
No idea.
No idea. Would it surprise you if I told you that after they went to Galloping Ghost, they all went to an iArcade event wearing their Arcade 1-Up gear?
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Now, I'm not saying that this was planned somehow or that John D or Arcade 1-Up had let them know that this was going to happen, or that they said, hey, here you go. Here, they gave this stuff to Ezekiel. But it is very weird that they were all planning to go to this iArcade event here in Chicago. So there it is. Zero Hero says they actually didn't. I actually had a bet with them at the Game Genie that they would do it, and he wouldn't do it. I don't know. I heard that they went. In conflicting reports. Now, because Bob wants to actually talk about the cabinets. Bob, have you heard that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 released and there's no online play?
Yeah, I mean, at first I heard something saying that the Australian cabs were released early, and then I saw that, who was it? She-Line Gaming has a cabinet. I don't know if she got hers early or what the actual release date, but I have heard there's no online at this stage.
And again, as brought up by the Rexer show, this is a serious violation, FTC and all that, truthfulness in advertising. You can't advertise a product that doesn't have a feature in the product. And Arcade 1-Up has definitely advertised Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Blitz as having Wi-Fi.
How do they plan on rectifying that in the future? Can this be? I don't know anything about Arcade 1-Up. Can it be patched?
Yeah, they have the Wi-Fi works, right? It's just the lobbies and everything else that goes along with it doesn't. So
Right.
technically, they could send the patch through. And this is the official Arcade 1-Up page. And as you can see, it says, Wi-Fi enabled for online play. Challenge and battle against your friends from around the country. No asterisk, no, hey, well, it doesn't work out of the box. To be announced, to coming at a later date. So definitely advertising this as having online. That's not available. And that's no.
There is a disclaimer saying specifications and features may vary. I don't know if that counts. It's not really. I don't know if that's specific enough.
I don't think that's specific enough. MVC1 is not working. Kong and Sheila did a stream where they could not connect the MVC1 cabinet, and the MVC2 cabinet keeps dropping. Damn, it's even worse than I thought. And I think somebody said that one of the cabinets has lag.
I was watching a bit of Sheline Gaming's stream, and I don't know. I need to do a bit more research, but I don't know if it was her stream lagging or the game lagging. To me, it was hard to see exactly because I couldn't always see her hands. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag on her hands, but there seemed to be a lot of slowdown, stutters, pauses. Like, I don't think it could have all been the live stream.
Yeah. So later, myself in comics. Have a good night. So yeah, always some drama, always something going on with these guys. Potion says no cult, but it might not even need a cult. We don't need a cult. Potion says it was her Wi-Fi, not the game.
Right.
Wiz says that's so fucking vague. So laughing my ass off. Yeah. So yeah, always some drama, always something happening. Not super interesting this week. Probably won't cover it for a while until something juicy happens. But we're always looking, always watching. Also, Rainwater, put your videos back, man. Fuck. Don't be scared. Don't let some guy bully you on the internet.
Yeah, Tony.
All right. We got a little bit of Intellivision Amico news. I don't know if you've seen my video earlier, but apparently someone has decided that they're going to take it upon themselves to create the Earthworm Jim game that we didn't get. They already recreated the teaser trailer in 3D. Doesn't look the best. I'm not going to lie. But it is something. It is funny how someone who's just doing this as a passion project was able to recreate the trailer and using 3D models, using the Unity engine in a relative short amount of time versus a company with 600 years of experience and millions of dollars. And it took them all that time to create one 30-second animation.
It wasn't Gatora's, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Gators. It's actually someone from the Ukraine.
Oh.
Oddly enough. So, hopefully, I don't want to name anybody because I don't want to be the guy, that gets the project shut down. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But it did look interesting. I want to keep my eye on it. Other than that, the auction, the Tommy Talerico auction went off today. People were overpaying like a motherfucker for shit. So maybe Tommy has raised the funds for some Amicos.
Please tell me you bought something, Tony.
I didn't. You had to register. You had to go through this whole goofy thing, and I was like, I don't want to put up with that.
I just want to see you signing all of his shit.
Yeah. Other than that, Amico Forever has been 3 weeks with no Amico Forever.
Is it gone? Is it gone forever?
I don't know if it's gone forever. Last I heard, it was going to take a 2-week hiatus for undisclosed reasons, and it's been 3 weeks now. Someone was saying that they thought that one of the members quit. I don't think they did. I haven't heard anything. Another person said that there was some trouble in paradise, that people were behind the scenes arguing with one another over it.
Who's jumped ship? Nick? Would it be Nick? Geeks with Cash. Have you heard who it was?
Someone said that Nick quit because he said he was fed up with having to deal with questions.
Yeah, he seemed the most on the fence out of the three of them.
I think it was taken out of context what Nick said, as Tony was alluding to. Nick was like, I'm fed up of sitting here having to field all these questions. I think he was more frustrated with the questions.
Yeah, but that is enough probably to drive him away from doing that show.
Yeah, because he knows that they're going to keep doing the questions. So I could see both sides of it. One where he didn't actually say he was quitting, but on the other hand, he probably knows that there's going to keep having those questions. So he's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, and he takes them serious. It's like DJ Seal just laugh them off. So he never really takes any of the hard questions on himself.
Yeah.
Nick seems to take it a bit more serious, and then, yeah, he gets visibly wound up at times. Especially with people like the Retro Bro.
Yeah, and like I said, they have said nothing, right? DJC, as far as I know, keeps making videos on other things. Just another viewer says Geeks didn't quit. He had personal things he needed to take care of. Yeah, but even if Geeks had personal things to take care of, right? DJC and Rab or someone else or DJC solo could have still done Amico forever, right? It's not like if Nick's not there, the show can't go on, right? Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe they signed a contract. All three got to be there. It's like a blood pack.
I mean, I had to sign a contract to be on this show. Shit, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah, your NDA was part of your contract, Bob. So
yeah, you made me sign one about 5 seconds before you pulled me on here.
Oh yeah, that's why he was late to pop on. He was going through that 300-page memo I sent him.
Tony said to me, just skim it. He said, skim it, sign.
I didn't even know there was an NDA included.
You got to read the fine print.
I don't read contracts. I just sign what I got to sign. I mean, who reads the terms and services of those things which they bring up on games?
Well, see, you guys don't realize this, but all the letters are actually formed with little micro-sized words that say you give up all your rights by signing this contract. But you just think it says title, but inside that is actually tiny little words. So close together, it looks like a solid black line. Because I'm sneaky like that. I actually did that in high school. Or was it college? No, it was high school. We had this mean teacher, right? She was like fucking mean. So I got to like point down to like fucking as small as I could, so it looked like periods at the end of sentences. But it would be like bitch. Like she wouldn't be able to read it, but it was there subconsciously. Rab is probably walking around New York. He's Crab walking around New York.
Can somebody explain the crab legs? I was away for a while.
Some things have no explanation. It's just crab
Isn't
legs.
it? There is some explanation. Didn't Tommy Talerico love crab legs or something, even though he's vegan or vegetarian?
He's not vegetarian, is he?
I think Tommy Talerico likes crab legs.
I think he's part-time vegan.
He's pescatarian, yeah. That's a real thing if you eat seafood.
Yeah.
So yeah, so really, like I said, no real news, no newsletters. They ain't bankrupt yet.
They just gonna. Do you think this is it? Do you think it's just gonna go silent and piece by piece it just all disappears? Do you think that's how it ends with a windfall?
I think so.
That's a shame.
Because I really don't think. I know there were some people. I joked a little myself. Tommy has sold a bunch of stuff at this auction. He's saving Amico. I 100% don't think he's selling this stuff in order to save the Amico or raise money to manufacture.
That's nonsense. Yeah.
This is a personal thing. If he was doing that,
sorry, Tony, he's so far out of it now. He's not even involved. This idea that he's still president, that in name only, he's not involved in the company anymore. No way.
Yeah. And you know, I know, and you all know that if Tommy really was doing this to save the Amico, right? He's doing this to save the Amico. He would have been very vocal about it. Hey guys, I know I got pushed out as CEO, but I'm still in the fight, and we're still Rocky Balboa up in this bitch, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a sacrifice so that way you guys get your refunds and you get your Amicos and we get everything settled. There's no way he would stay silent if that was the point, if that was the whole intention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No. The only reason to stay silent on an auction like this is because it is a personal issue of personal finances, and I've had it on good authority, the authority being the real estate listing for Tommy's house, saying that he has a $724,000 financed mortgage that he's got to pay because he keeps refinancing his house, and that was the last time he refinanced that I could find. There's a possibility that in this Amico saga he refinanced again, and now he's in extreme debt and possibly losing his house, as some people had alluded to before. And so this is a last desperate act of a man trying to save his house and his home.
Oof.
Sad. Yeah.
It is.
Yo, Evil, welcome to the stream, dude.
Oh, what's up, Evil? I didn't even see you there. I didn't recognize your thing.
Yeah, Evil. Tommy O told me that a fake Evil turned up and copyright struck his channel.
Yeah.
Evil, you're going to put all your videos back up, all your old ones, specifically the music videos.
I don't think he has access to them.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's bad.
The whole Tommy is broke narrative to me is off. His dad didn't give him some life insurance. Well, you could have life insurance, but his dad was in hospice, so that's going to cost a lot of money. His bills. I mean, like I said, he owes almost $1 million at last, checking like almost $1 million on his house. That's not even talking property tax and light, water bills.
Yeah, I mean, he was oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say a parent passing away isn't exactly lucrative. Not always.
No.
Depends what they have in their estate.
Well, when my dad passed away, it almost cost us money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there could be a distinct possibility that Tommy's dad was already giving him money prior to the whole thing, and maybe he didn't have a life insurance, or maybe the life insurance, wasn't a huge amount. Yeah, and all that shit Tommy buys and bought adds up. Doesn't Tommy have money in South America? Sure. It's just getting it over to the U.S. Without customs finding it. That's the issue.
Sure.
So yeah, everyone's favorite subject. Not much to talk about. I don't know if we're ever going to get the official announcement. Do you think we're ever going to get the official, hey, that's it, we've shut down, the Amico's over, sorry guys, everyone go home?
Well, there'll have to be at one point where the company gets, I don't know how it works in the US, does it get wound up, struck off, or the company has to liquidate at some point, right?
Well,
not necessarily.
Yeah, I've heard that what they could do, depending on the type of NDA people have signed, even if the company gets closed down and sold on, those NDAs could still be active. So we might not hear any inside information from people. The company could technically still be around. I've been saying for quite a while this is going to go on for years and years and years, like even longer than this. Like they're going to keep stringing people along for as long as they can.
Well, you'll know you probably know it's gone when you see somebody buying the IPs, somebody buying the Intellivision name, and somebody buying the code games that were made.
Now that you said that, there's a distinct possibility. Again, this is just me speculating here. But the whole idea that they were going to license out their IPs to other companies to make the games, the BBG. What if they're actually just selling them, and this whole licensing thing is just a cover story?
Well, I didn't believe that anyway at the beginning. I thought that licensing thing was to do because the company that's licensed them was in Germany, And I always thought there was Bavarian grant money granted to this company to make these games, so Intellivision weren't financing it anyway. And I thought that it took so long for them to get the Amico out that the license had just reverted back to the company that was making them, because they need to make a profit from it in order to satisfy the terms of the Bavarian grant. I don't know what the terms are, but I'm assuming that Germany won't wait forever for a return on its money.
Maybe Germany didn't care because people got paid and people worked on it. I don't think the grants were ever a return on the money type situation.
So they were just happy to write it off.
Yeah, I think it was more of a we wanted jobs and people in the arts type thing to have money. So I don't think they were necessarily looking for more money, but the company, the BBEG or whatever the hell it's called, they actually go around buying up licenses. They bought up a lot, like First Star and other older companies. That's how they got the games they got. So I could see them saying, hey, we'll just fucking take those licenses off your hands, right? We'll just buy them. And maybe this whole cover story of, we've licensed it to them, to make games on other platforms, is just their way of saving face. So when you see these games show up, you just, they license it. They must be getting money. The Intellivision's getting money from that, right? When the reality is, no, they actually just sold it off.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They spent it to make it look good on them, but I think we all know. We all know now.
Coco the monkey? Yeah. Phil is with someone at the BBC right now. Yeah, they're going to make the he's at the bottom of the BBC. It's in the email that Turbo Joe's prepping. Yeah, I think as long as they're technically active, they're never going to make an announcement that it's over. It's going to be one of those it's shelved indefinitely projects, but it's not technically over.
Well, I think the one thing that you really should try and bid for is the Intellivision name. If you're going to buy anything, buy that. If you get your hands on that, you've killed it.
Yeah.
We know
that would be nice.
Tony.
It would be nice.
Sell that shell.
Now, why would I sell the shell? I think the shell is going to be a cultural, historical landmark. It's going to be in a museum one day.
You don't think the dev units are ever going to get sold or leaked?
I'm working on one right now.
Ooh.
I'm trying to charm my way into borrowing a dev unit.
Oh, my days.
So we'll see. Because I know the person that I'm talking to has a dev unit, and they were not asked for it back.
Do you know what country they're in? Are they in America?
I cannot say. If I say, but I'm going to start narrowing it down, and then
okay.
Emails and phone calls get made. And come on, Bob, you know better than that.
Well, I was just thinking for posted issues, if they're in Europe, you could always direct them to my direction. I could take some high-res 4K photos.
Well, I don't want photos of the dev unit.
He wants the dev unit.
I want to be able to play the games and show people the games.
Well, I want to see inside.
Because I know what's inside it, Bob. I can give you a list of every component inside the Amico. I have it. Okay, I can build my own Amico, but I don't have the software, and that's the thing I want to see. I want to see that software. Because I want to know.
We're quite sorry, Tony. We're quite close to Germany, Bob. We can go over there and try and track down that one hand zippage got sent.
Yeah, we could heavy arm them, man.
We'll have the fucking box as well.
I've got a metal baseball bat.
Yeah, I've got a knuckle duster. Let's go.
Let's go.
Sending the UK boys over there to
fuck them up. Yeah.
Bob can build it. Oh yeah, Bob. You build computers, right? You know how to solder.
I've built computers. I can solder. I can design. I could build circuits. I, in theory, could design. If I put my mind to it, I could probably design a circuit board.
Well, I don't need you to design anything. I could just give you the list of components and you just slap them together.
Yeah, that'd be easy. I could even like source. Yeah, I could literally. I could if you sent me the components. I could probably actually thinking about it. I could pretty much get it up and running with like the actual circuit boards they showed in the pictures. Order the circuit boards, get them put on, get the chips put on, even do the software. I could do it all, yeah, for sure.
And then send it to Tony, and he can stick it inside the guts inside.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. That's what I'm suggesting.
All right,
Stick
gentlemen.
some LEDs around
we
the
got-
outside. Couple of
definitely.
fucking iPods. Yeah, you got yourself an Amico.
Shit, why didn't I think this before? Like, yeah, I could do that. And to order like one circuit board, to get one custom circuit board designed, it's like what, £20? And that's like highballing it. If I wanted to get like a small run of 4 or 5 circuit boards, it could be as cheap as $5 a piece.
Oh, now we're fucking gonna create Amicos for everybody.
No, we'll do what I'll do. Well, we could in theory.
You know what? I'll just buy a Raspberry Pi and stick it in the show.
That's not as fun though.
All right.
I want to do it now. I'm going to do it.
Bob wants to prove a point that he can do it by hand quicker than these guys back in
Yeah.
television.
I don't know. There might be 4 missing components. You got to source them parts, Bob. They're all gone. They're all missing. But we'll definitely work something out. Yeah.
It probably is relatively easy to put all the components that are inside the shell itself together, which just goes to show you how much of a problem that controller was. That has to be the main reason why it's not here.
I mean, there's probably easier ways to do it than designing a circuit board and populating it.
Yeah. I don't understand the level of hubris and stupidity that came into designing this thing. All you needed was a small box that had 2 controllers. You could have wired them. No one would have complained. No one would have complained, right?
Well, you've spoken to Tommy Talerico, Tony, so you do know the kind of hubris that was involved.
Yeah. I'm saying, because you could have basically put together a small box, put some games on it. I've showed games off on this channel that would have fit on there. That Crano game, that would have been perfect. He didn't hit his goal for his main game. That's why Crano Origins came out and not the actual game. That would have been something. Amico comes in, gives him $50,000, make your game, put it on the Amico, 1-year exclusivity deal. Boom. You got a really good game that's interesting, that's unique, and that people would have loved to play, and would have got highly rated by reviewers. And once reviewers are like, hey, these are fucking good games, people might actually pick it up. You got a fucking $200 box. Boom. That's why just give me fucking $1 million. Start a GoFundMe for me to have my own video game company. Or you know what? Donkey, I know you're watching, Donkey. Call me up. I'll hook you up. Me, you, Big Mode. We'll make a console too while we're at it.
Whatever happened to this console you were going to try and make a while ago, Tony?
Well, we looked into it, and I looked into everything. Building the console itself, no problem. Getting the games and stuff, need money. The only way it would ever work is you would need exclusive content, and you would need a big enough audience, or you would just basically never make any profit, right? It's like I could put out a comic book better than Rippa, but if no one buys it, does it really matter, right? His audience is way bigger. He made $3 million. I might be lucky if I made $50.
So
But
what
Tommy,
what you're saying is making a console is hard.
well, no, not making it is hard. Marketing it is hard.
I mean, getting it out there, yeah, getting it in people's hands, many people's hands.
Because like you said, right, with the Intellivision, instantly, boom, you got fucking an audience, right? If it was just the Amico, not the Intellivision Amico, we probably wouldn't even be here talking about it because it would have died on the vine. If Tommy Talerico wasn't attached to it, again, would have died on the vine because no one would have heard of it. The Coleco Chameleon, The only reason it got traction is because of the ColecoVision name.
Yeah.
When it was the Retro
100%.
VGS, no one cares. It's like the Collector Vision Phoenix. Does anyone talk about that thing?
Don't even know what that is.
Exactly. Retro Engine Sigma. Anyone talk about that? Nope.
No.
Because these things didn't have big names attached to them.
That's why I
it
was
big...
suggesting. Sorry, Tony. I know. I said it as a joke a long time ago, but that's why I was suggesting somebody get a hold of the Magnavox name, because that's the only other one they haven't really touched.
No, there's one more. You can get the Philips CDI.
Well, Philips is still a big
Philips
company.
is still a big brand. I don't know who's got the Magnavox. I haven't looked into it, but that was the first video game console, wasn't it? The Odyssey.
Yeah, I think so. We might be able to get
years someone will have that name, and they'll be raping it like they're doing with these ones.
Yeah. So if you have, but Tommy had the perfect opportunity here, right? For whatever we say about him now, in hindsight and everything, right? When he did come out with this, he did have some respect, some notoriety in the gaming community. No one had really taken a fine look at his career or the things he said. He had yet to say anything stupid in regards to the Amico that anyone can verify, at least. He had the Intellivision name, he had the Intellivision audience. It's all there.
He was in He was in the right place at the right time, knew the right people to get the Intellivision name in the first place.
And then somehow we just fucked up a hand job, right? Because, I mean, this was literally the easiest fucking thing. You had the Intellivision name. Every Intellivision fan would have been chomping at the bit. They were chomping at the bit to buy an Amico. All he had to do was say, hey, guys, I can't get Centipede, but I'm going to get you a fucking Centipede-like game, right? But we're working on the license. Bear with me now. We're going to get you a Centipede-like game. So we're going to call it something else, right? Whatever. Fucking roly-poly. We're going to get you fucking roly-poly. It's basically Centipede. And then, maybe in a few years, we'll be able to get the actual Centipede license and make a sequel to Centipede. Centipede 2. Astro Smash 2. I mean, you don't need... You have the Intellivision name, so you really don't need the name of the games, right? Intellivision fans would have forgiven it if it would have been called like Astro Blast or Meteor Blaster.
Yeah, and also I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think when he got the license for the Intellivision, it also already came like with the licenses for some games.
No. It's one of those situations where because he didn't even buy, like everyone says he didn't buy the Intellivision name, right? He's not the sole owner of the Intellivision brand.
Right.
He bought Keith Robinson's share, and he was the biggest shareholder of the brand and the license. I don't know if he also bought Keith Robinson's share in the software part, because there's obviously the name part of the company, and then there's the software part of the company. I don't know if he bought them both, because originally he was saying day one all the original Intellivision games were going to be on it, right? And then that got walked back to like, well, maybe we'll eventually have them on there, or we're going to sell them in packs someday. So I think, like many people, Tommy stupidly thought, hey, I bought Intellivision, I must own everything that goes with it, right? And they're probably like, whoa, dude. It's not how it fucking works, right? Now, Metal Jesus should make a console. He should. As much shit as people give Metal Jesus and the John Hancocks and all these guys, if they made a fucking console or something, they'd have name recognition and they have a built-in audience. And again, despite what we might think of them, other people think that they actually know what they're talking about when it comes to retro video games. So people would expect, oh, these guys are going to make decent-sized games or decent games that retro gamers are going to love. They would have gave it a chance. As long as you deliver a good product, people aren't going to care afterward, right? That John Hancock is a scam artist, or that fucking Metal Jesus. I don't know what the hell's what's Metal Jesus' scandal. The Bird King thing?
Basement. Basement.
Basement Leaker. Yeah, he could have named the game Basement Leaker 3000. You have to get a bucket. You get a bucket and you bail out the basement against this flowing tide. And there's holes in the wall, so you could either plug up a hole or bail out the basement. And you don't know when the water is going to come in. Look, I'm fucking a game designer already. Boom. You know how many copies of that you would sell just as a joke? Get on that, Bob.
Hashtag copyrighted.
Yeah.
Look at Soldier Boy. Look at the amount of cheap Chinese consoles he sold just with slapping his name on it, and he was doing it like under the nose of Sega and Nintendo and getting away with it. And it's just because of his name. He was selling them on his own website for about like three times the markup of what it was if you bought it from China. And people were lapping it up. Depends how big your following is, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And this situation was the perfect storm where he had name recognition, brand recognition, connections in the industry, supposed clout. I don't know how he fucked this up. This is like
because he spent all of his time fighting with nobodies. No offense, Tony. And
it's just like I fucked it up
about
instead of putting the live. This whole time, Bob, why didn't you tell me we didn't have the live symbol up there?
Not my job.
Tech support, Bob.
Yeah, you tech support.
Yeah, tech support, not aesthetic support or branding support.
Yeah, he was fighting with nobodies, and I'm not offended at all because I've said it before. I am a nobody, right? Tommy has given me more clout and more prestige than I've ever deserved.
Yeah, he created you. He was like Batman throwing the Joker into the acid when he dealt with you.
I was thinking more like when the Joker shot Batman's parents. I'm Batman in this situation, and Tommy would be the Joker.
Well, I think it was a bit of a premature situation with Tommy Talerico, and he jumped the shark. And he shouldn't have chatted all that wild bullshit, calling people gaming racists, and saying he's got this license and that license. If he'd kept his mouth shut, it would have been a lot better.
Tommy Amico says how he fucked this up. He tried to sell a 2015 Android to people who own 2020 iPhones. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's part of the marketing, right? If Tommy, again, like Bob said, if he kept his mouth shut and didn't say all kind of crazy things, if he focused on the retro community and wasn't trying to make billions of dollars, right? If he was literally just trying to make a console that people would like and enjoy, and again, we can say whatever the fuck we want, and we could make fun of people who like the Amico, and we could say that these games look like shit, but there are people that would buy them, right? Just like the Soldier Boy consoles. People would have bought this thing.
People are buying arcade one-ups and they're not running on the latest tech. I know I've been informed what the latest chipset they're using for their arcade. I haven't looked into it. But
Hey, family who owns 4 iPhones and a Switch, want a 2015 phone you can only use on the TV? Yeah. But see, then again, this is, again, part of the whole thing, Tommy. Obviously, in the perfect scenario that I'm presenting, the controller would not be the controller that's fucking Tommy presented, right? There would have been no wheel. Could you imagine if he just had an old school, like Atari type situation, stick, 3 buttons instead of the 1?
I honestly think it would be in people's homes now, if that was the case.
I think for me personally, I think a Sega style controller where you had the D-pad had the little extra nubs on the cross section, so it was like an 8-way controller. 4 buttons. You don't need, like you said, you don't need all kind of fancy buttons. 4 buttons, so it's a little different from the Sega controller. And there you go. It would have been in people's homes. Put the fucking wire on it. No one cares. Right? 25-foot wire. You didn't need it to be fancy. This first console should have not been fancy at all. It should have been function over form, not the other way around, right? As long as it works, as long as you plug it in, as long as it's fucking HDMI compatible, and boom. That's it. I would have made some knockoff games. I would have made some sequels for the licenses I did own, and I would have picked up a bunch of games off of Kickstarter and Indiegogo that failed to meet their goals, but actually looked good and decent and were ready to go. He could have launched with like 30, 40 games. He would have probably sold 10,000 units. With no marketing, again, with no quote unquote no marketing, right? I wouldn't have been having 5 offices. I definitely wouldn't have been begging the Bavarian government for money. I definitely wouldn't have had fucking 17 fucking executives, Ferrari parking, and all kind of other shit. Would have been a small operation. But again, I guess I'm the asshole, right? What do I know about running a company?
This is how I think. Sorry, Tony.
I've launched as many consoles as Tommy. So.
This is how I believe it wasn't a scam in his head from the start. Because he wouldn't have had all those offices. He wouldn't have spent all that money doing those things. It would have been a small operation. He would have hoarded cash in order to run away with the most amount of it. It's when he got ousted and Phil Adam took over. That's when you knew. That's when everybody knew it had fallen into scam territory. Because although Tommy was telling lies, his narcissism took over. He believed what he was saying. Phil Adam knows he's talking shit.
Yeah. Sorry, Finbar. He rented the offices from the.
But this is what I mean. So it's come from. I mean, it's like taking out of one pocket and putting it into the other. But the only pocket it's going into is the CFO's pocket there.
Yeah, but it was just the one office. It wasn't all the offices. He wasn't renting the office in Germany. He wasn't renting the office in Mumbai, wherever the fuck he was over there. You didn't need a German office. You didn't need an Indian office. You didn't need 3 offices in Los Angeles. In fact, I wouldn't have been in LA at all. What the fuck was he doing in LA? You could have ran this shit out of fucking Delaware garage, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. But that's why I believe it was a scam. It was all fucking smoke and mirrors.
Well, I don't think it was. I keep going back and forth on whether or not it's a scam or not, right? Because if he believes his own bullshit, if he's that fucked up psychologically, then I don't think it's a scam. I just think it's delusion, right? Is delusion a scam?
No, but lying is a scam.
Yeah, but if you're deluded, Bob, it's not a lie to you. If you believe your own bullshit, right? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. We all know who Joe Biden is, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden continuously tells the story that he marched in the civil rights protest, when in fact he never marched in the civil rights protest. Now, is he lying, or is he just fucking crazy? Right? If he's fucking crazy, then it's not a lie. It's a delusion. And it's not a scam, right? He's not trying to pull one over on you. He's not trying to trick you. He truly believes it. And I think that Tommy might fall into that same category. Like, if he truly believes it, right? He wasn't intentionally misleading you. He was misleading you because he's fucking crazy.
Like, it goes back to the book that he was reading. This is why somebody can be led on by that. It's because his mind is already ready to absorb it.
Yeah.
Tommy O says San Francisco and Dubai offices never existed off paper. Many offices weren't real. It is not uncommon for companies to rent a location to be claimed as their office when there's no actual office there. You're still paying money for those locations, for those PO boxes and stuff. I mean, it's not unusual. Now the guy got Paulie as a partner. Nick was grifting from day one. Yeah, that's why I always said that there's a possibility that people saw how stupid Tommy was and took advantage of him.
Yeah.
And they knew it was a stupid idea, but they figured, hey, fuck it, I could just ride with Tommy and make some money off of him.
Well, all I'm saying is, number one, people said this was a scam and would never release, and I got and said, put your money where your mouth is if you believe it in so much, and I did. Might have only been the joystick, but I did. Number two, I was right on the Intellivision being a scam and not coming out. And number three, I was right about the Lady Decade situation. when that was first brought to our attention.
Is that what you got, Bob? Is it a controller? Do you have the console?
No, all he has is the controller.
The fuck are you
No.
gonna do with just the controller?
Well, it's wireless. It's compatible with the PC. I can use it with emulators.
Yeah. Good show.
I think it was supposed to actually be compatible with the PlayStation 4. Even I think it's like. In fact, I've never opened this, so I'm going to do it live.
Bob,
right
a
now.
fucking brick falls out.
Well, here's my counter to your statements, Bob. One, I think when people said it was a scam and never coming out, Atari had different owners. Didn't they change ownership or leadership in the middle of their whole VCS fiasco?
No, not even.
Don't think they did. No.
Not even at the. They didn't change. People were saying it's not the original Atari. It's a company which bought the Atari name and were putting out an Atari VCS console under the.
It
Atari
is, but I'm
name.
talking about that company. That company that bought them out. Didn't something happen with them with the way they're structured?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You should know. You should be able to answer this question if you follow the thing.
Yeah, I didn't know about that stuff. No one ever brought that stuff up when we was covering it. I wasn't worried about. I didn't know about that stuff, but I was more concerned about the releasing of if the Atari VCS was going to see the light of day, whether they were.
When did the VCS come out?
It was quite badly delayed, but
2019?
Yeah, 2019, I guess. See, proof, this is sealed and I didn't even realize it had I need to get my knife.
Oh shit, don't give Bob a knife.
I'll cut you.
Yeah, because let's see, there was bankruptcy in 2013, sold off their intellectual properties. They had a turnaround strategy. In March 2018, the Atari box was renamed the Atari VCS. In April 2019, Atari announces that they would begin trading on the NASDAQ Nordic Stock Exchange.
If anyone remembers my coverage of the Atari VCS, I never said it was going to be an amazing console. I just said it's going to be a good product which is going to come out. It could be an interesting mini console to use for emulators.
No, Bob, this didn't come out till 2021.
Well, Finbar misinformed me.
I threw Finbar under the bus. And here in March,
I don't know.
Okay, so look in April 2021, Atari restructured the company by splitting into Atari Gaming, who will focus on video games, and Atari
Tony,
Blockchain.
But Tony, it's 2021, not the retail release.
I love that. That's so cool.
Right, so there were backers that received some before that, right? Maybe not 2019, maybe 2020.
It was 2020, December 14, 2020.
Yeah, right. So backers received some first, and then the retail release would have been 2021. It's been long.
Yeah, but I think when the backers received some, that people were still going that it's not going to come out in a full retail.
Well, I remember there being rumblings that it was going to just be the backers that were getting them, but no, it did eventually go to full retail. But it wasn't the console that they had originally advertised it was going to be. It's more of a mini PC, and it's a really, really low-powered mini PC for the price that people were paying. People were paying $400 for it. Bob probably paid a fortune just for that joystick.
No, I paid £35 for it.
It's fucking more than I'd pay, Bob.
More than I would pay.
Joystick with one button. Is it light up, Bob? Has it got LEDs on it and stuff?
Apparently, I think so. Yeah, it's got LEDs. It's got a twist feature where. Oh, that's a really nice thick USB.
What the hell are you doing, Bob?
I'm unboxing it, man.
Tommy, it's 3:50 a.m.
But I just hear a bunch of shit happening off screen. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh. Why is the fucking joystick so short?
I was just about to say your joystick's kind of small, Bob.
Bob's been scammed.
It looks tiny in your giant.
Don't do that. You're
gorilla
gonna
hand.
fucking unscrew it.
Well,
in your big bear paws, that thing looks tiny, Bob.
Like this thing, the joystick, shit, I'm gonna have to tear this down and see what's inside because this joystick feels fucking terrible. It's like spinning around. There's no, it feels like it's hollow. It doesn't even feel like the joystick has got anything inside it. It feels like a weird shell kind of thing, which is just rotating.
Not 5 minutes ago, you're praising Atari for getting this fucking console out.
You're like, fuck this shit. Brady Goat says, I just got a VCS. It's meh on it. Antstream on it is okay. The joystick sucks from 1980s gamer.
See, the Antstream thing, that was another thing. They signed a deal for that, and that you can get on PC. So it's not even.
Oh.
It does light up. It's nice.
Ooh,
That's the best
look at
part of it. When you
it
turn
lights
the
up with the
stick
direction that you're in,
yeah,
Bob?
with the direction you
Yeah.
pick.
That's never been done before. Only at Amico.
Who stole that idea? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was supposed to be pressure sensitive, but I mean, that's actually pretty fucking. I mean, it's cool it lights up, but it's like, it's not what I was expecting. It's kind of
game changing.
Well, no, it's kind of shitty, is what I'm trying to say.
How long have you had it in the box, Bob? How long you had it?
Since like, I backed it in it, so it's just been in the box for a couple of years.
It's quite cool that it still held a charge after 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean, fucking the joystick. It's a fucking absolute joke.
Now you want an Amico, don't you?
Somebody clip this.
Shit, I want to see if it connects to my Bluetooth on my PC. Shit. I mean, great they brought it out. Like,
Does it have 64 directions, Bob? Hey, it's Sherry wants to know.
I don't know. We'll have to test it out if it connects to my Bluetooth.
Count the individual LED lights as you rotate it around.
I don't think there's many.
Do a Zangief pile driver.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10.
That's good enough.
Yeah, but the way it was shown, it seemed like there was more. And I thought it was supposed to be pressure sensitive as well, so they're supposed to light up more the more pressure you put on it. I don't know if I'm misremembering details. There ain't even an instruction manual with it. There's no rumble effects, LED lights, second fire button.
You don't need 2 buttons. Old school games only require 1 button, Bob.
I mean, the USB cable it comes with is really high quality. It's really thick. I mean, I think the £35 went on the fucking USB cable. I'm going to plug it in to my PC by wire, see what happens. See if it's even picked up. Because it's supposed to be PC compatible, I think. Right. Oh, I think it's been recognized.
This is when Bob's feed drops out.
He's going to start controlling the camera with the joystick. And we're going to get a fucking face reveal.
There's no manual Padawan. Have I gone? Oh, do you know what I could play with it? I could check it with Fightcade.
Oh. Anyway, I think that's it for the Television Amico. Bob, did you watch Andor this week?
Yes, I did.
Right.
I did my job.
While you're playing with your joystick, let's discuss some Andor. Gentlemen, what did you think about the show this week?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had to catch up from the first episode to now. I was going to watch it with a buddy of mine when it had all released, but because you were talking about it, I thought I have to just watch it now. But I went into it with quite low expectations, as opposed to what I went into Obi-Wan with. I went into Obi-Wan expecting a lot and getting disappointed. But I've been enjoying Andor. It's a slow burn, which I quite like. It's 12 episodes, isn't it? It's gonna be quite a long series.
Yeah, it's 12 episodes. What'd you think about it, Bob?
It's fucking dire, man. I'm already getting burnt out by the pacing. I mean, I thought it was cool to start with. It was okay. But nah, I'm kind of losing interest rapidly in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean more on Bob's end. I think that the way the show is structured, it seems to be 2 episodes of setup, 1 episode of payoff, and the payoff so far hasn't been worth the 2 episodes of setup. Now we're into the first mission arc of Andor's career as a rebel. We got set up where he met the team, was introduced into what they were doing, yada, yada, yada. And then this episode, we get more introduction to the team, more setup, more what they're supposed to be doing. And we still haven't got them to actually get to the vault to start the theft. It's like watching the first half of Ocean's 11 twice.
You may be right,
Yeah.
because I've probably because I've binged 5 in a row. Maybe if I'm watching this week to week, I'm going to feel the same after a few weeks of it. But because I wasn't expecting anything of it, I've been enjoying it, and I do think that, once they start, well, it's right in what you're saying. They've been setting up this team heist for 2 weeks, and hopefully it starts to kick off a bit more. Hopefully, I want to see a couple of cameos. I'm very superficial like that. I want to see some cameos from.
Well, they said they're not going to have any cameos, any callbacks, any Easter eggs. It's going to be its own thing.
Yeah, but they say a lot of things, don't they?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a continuous two episode setup, 1 episode payoff, 2 episodes setup, 1 episode payoff.
There's got
I'm
to be
not
at least,
sure.
sorry, Tony. I know you were mentioning last week there's got to be at least Bail Organa turns up at one point, because you've got Mon Mothma and her family, and then they're going to show how she pulls away from the Senate and goes off with the rebels. I'm sure that will start happening either this series or the next series that comes out. So he's got to turn up at some point, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Did you say you thought he was dead when New Hope started? Bail Organa?
No, I thought he was out of the Senate already.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Sure he doesn't die until Alderaan's blown up, though.
Yeah. But I'm wondering in this series if we're going to have these particular rebels like be a permanent group that go along with Andor on their missions, or is he going to constantly be meeting new people that are in the rebellion? Like, okay, those guys are gone. Here's another group of people that we're going to spend 2 episodes getting to know. Because I'm not really invested in anybody, right? Like, even Andor, because they barely shown anything. Like, first 3 episodes had flashbacks to Andor's childhood. And these last 2 have none.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened to that storyline? Like that seemed to be like they were building up to something. And then...
Well, that's over now, isn't it? Because the last flashback was when his adopted mum got him off planet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It.
But I thought there was going to be more to it, like flashbacks that like her raising him learning stuff, how he ended up in juvie.
That may still be to come. I was kind of hoping they would bump into, because at the same this is going on around about the same time as Rebels, the animated show was going on, so I was kind of hoping they'd bump into them at some point, or a couple of them. We still could. Yeah, it was just slow. What's name's real good though. Skarsgård's good. The whole Mon Mothma thing with the husband, it's kind of weird. It's like I like that. No, I like that because she's obviously on her own when she heads off with the rebels. So this is just showing how her marriage falls apart and her daughter disowns her. So I quite like that.
Yeah, but like he's like a dick. Like
well, you'd have to be a dick if you want to leave him and run away with rebels. He's more of a sort of he doesn't give a shit about
the common people.
The way the Empire, yeah, he's more of a sort of corrupt official. She's obviously got the conscience, and then the daughter is taking the side of the dad, so that's why she's going to run off.
Then we saw a little bit more from the dude that lost his job in the corporate. I forget what the hell his name is. But even that was dumb. Like we're watching him and the mom argue while he's eating cereal with the blue milk, and your uncle's going to get you a job, but you're a fucking knucklehead. And they're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's going to go. That's a bit strange. I mean, where does he go from here? Maybe he just wants to get revenge on him, and that's it. And he's just chasing him through the whole show. But he's obviously not. I don't see him joining the Empire.
Yeah, maybe he joins the Rebels.
Ousted. Nah, no chance. There's no way.
So yeah, I don't know where they're going with this.
They're going to send me to fucking sleep with it. I have no idea what's going on. I kind of tuned out from the show. I mean, there was that Kyber crystal, which is non-canon. The Sky Kyber.
What do you mean it's non-canon?
What makes it non-canon?
It's in the show.
Well, it's in the show, but previous to this, it wasn't in canon. There's never
Kyber
been
crystals are what power lightsabers, though, Bob.
Yes, but Sky Kyber, I looked it up, has never been mentioned in Star Wars lore previous to this. So I was like, oh, is this like a specific type of Kyber crystal with some kind of extra rarity or special value or some sort of thing behind it? But no, it's never been brought up in previous Star Wars lore.
But appearing in the show makes it canon now.
Yeah, but I'm saying previous to this, it wasn't in canon.
Yeah, but it might be called Sky Kyber, Bob, but it might just be because it's blue and white, and like maybe usually they cut the white part off.
Maybe. I mean, it just seems a lot of... The whole show feels like a filler show because we know what happens to Andor. We are trying to get backstory. I thought this series was going to be about him, his involvement, how he gets engaged. But I know he's like doing this thing for the rebellion, I guess, or this is to start up the rebellion or something. But I don't know, man. It's not very. I know what they go. I know they're going for like their own thing. But I think it's too detached from.
What if the Kyber crystal ends up in Luke Skywalker's lightsaber?
Yeah, could do.
I mean, they got it. He doesn't have it in Rogue One, as far as I remember, right?
Who doesn't? Andor.
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't mention it. Like Bob says, this is the first time they've ever mentioned it. So no, he's not.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's not wearing the necklace. It's not like he keeps it. So he has to either lose it, sell it, or something has to happen to it between now and Rogue One.
He may keep it in his underpants for luck, but then he did get blown up by the Death Star, so that didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome breakdown, Bob. Thanks for the detailed information, guys. No problem.
I'd say skip. I'm going to give it one more episode, and if the next episode ain't the fucking heist, I truly, honestly give up with this show. I feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah, not much happened. There's not even much to even talk about the episode. It's like it was there, it happened, it was meh. Too much setup. I'm tired of setup this week. I want payoff.
The whole show is just set up for fucking Rogue One. And we got how many seasons? 3 or 5? It's ridiculous.
We're not having 5 seasons, are we? I thought it was 2.
Originally it was set up for 5. Then they said it was going to be 3. Now I'm hearing 2. Maybe the show's that bad. They're like, fuck it, we can't do 3. This is 2. Cut it.
Well, they were going to do, for the 5 seasons, they were going to do each year leading up to Rogue One, weren't they? And now they've truncated it, so they're going to do, this season will be 1 whole year, and then season 2 will be year 4 BBY to 1 BBY, right? Or 0 BBY.
Yeah.
Is that what they're going to do? At least that's what I've heard. I don't think we even needed 2 seasons, to be quite honest. How slow it's been. You're right, it is quite. That's why, I mean, I'm not bothered about it being a slow burn, but it is a slow burn. And if they wanted to do all the action leading up to Rogue One, they could have done that in 1 season easily. Just milking the cow.
All right. We got one last story. And that's real quick. Some Steam Deck news. Gentlemen, do you guys own a Steam Deck?
No.
Well, Valve says Steam Decks can now be bought without a reservation. Docking station is also available.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
So if you want one, you just users can now buy one directly from the official Steam Deck website without having to place a reservation and wait until their place in the queue is reached. Starting today, Steam Deck is available without reservation. The company tweeted, "Order one now, and it will ship it to you now."
Wow! Finally.
The company also announced that the Steam Deck docking station is also available starting today. The docking station costs $79.99. Euro 89.99 American, and can be used to display the Steam Deck on a TV or monitor, or simply act as a charging stand. Valve stresses in effect that the docking station isn't the only way to display Steam Deck games on screen, and that a number of other third-party USB-C docks are compatible too. So there you go. If you haven't bought a Steam Deck, if you've been looking for one, you no longer have to pay those scalper prices. Because boom,
direct from Valve, you can get one now. That's so cool. The Steam Deck is probably, in my opinion, one of the most important devices to come out for PC gaming. It's amazing technology. The amount of power they've managed to squeeze into this thing, the software they've developed, the amount of work they've put in. It's an amazing little system. I shouldn't really undercut it by calling it a little system, but it's incredible. I can't believe Valve did it. And I mean, it's not a product for me. As much as I'd love to buy one, I would just put it in a dock and game on my TV with it.
Yeah, you'd be better off with just a PC then at that point.
Yeah, that's why I just built a PC instead. But I see so much versatility and options for this. It's a great entry point for people new to PC gaming who don't want to invest in a computer straight away. It's a great investment for someone who's already got a huge Steam library and they want to game while they go, or game in bed, or game on the toilet.
Whoa, no one games on the toilet.
I know plenty of people who do. And I think if you
should buy a deck and ditch the VCS, Bob.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a VCS. He's only got a fucking joystick.
And it's, I mean, there's a nice. I want to open it. I want to open it up and see what's inside. I reckon it. I want to know if there's a few weights inside this fucking plastic shell. It almost feels like ABS plastic, like it's 3D printed almost. It feels a bit.
Is, Bob.
It feels a bit. It feels a bit heavy, but I don't think it's dense with material. I'm wondering if there's a few weights inside it. But it's going to be a bit. I think it's going to be actually, I can just Google a fucking teardown, can't I?
But it won't be your teardown, Bob.
Yeah, you do the teardown, Bob, and film it.
All right, so there's one more bit of Steam Deck news, gentlemen. Steam Deck Valve did a oopsie.
What did they do?
Steam Deck promotional video removed after it accidentally showed off a Switch emulator.
How the fuck can you fuck up so badly?
So this is a tweet from Nibble at Nibble Lion. Valve's new official video for the Steam Deck has a very interesting game icon in it. This one right here, the Yuzu Switch emulator, is being showed off in an official promotional video from Valve. 2 days hence, it was pulled.
That's got to be
Wait,
deliberate.
it was up for how long was it up for?
I was up for it. I think this article is from today. It was originally posted on the 6th, so like 2 days, give or take.
It's got to be deliberate. They've just said, look, we can do everything the Switch can do and more. Oops, get that down.
Yeah, but
you've got a Steam Deck, Tony, yeah?
I do.
Can you confirm or deny if you have Yuzu installed?
I do not have it. I barely use my Steam Deck.
Do you have to? I imagine you would have to jailbreak or.
I wouldn't even know. But there it is.
Why would you need to jailbreak a PC? You know,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how closed off the UI is. I've never actually touched one. Is it basically just a PC in your hand?
It's a custom Linux kernel, it's basically running compatibility layers to run most of the PC games, but you can literally just switch it with a few button presses into desktop mode, install emulators, download any programs you want.
So it's very open.
Massively open. It's great for anyone who's interested in tinkering, modding.
But I hear it only has an hour worth of battery life, Bob.
No, it definitely doesn't.
I watched a video on YouTube from someone in the community. They said it only has an hour of battery life.
I saw that. I saw the same video, shockingly, and I thought it was one of the most retarded takes on the Steam Deck I've ever seen.
Well, how much battery life does it have, Tony? Because you've got one.
It depends on the game, obviously, in the settings. But you could usually get about 2 hours, 2.5 hours out of your Steam Deck.
Potion saying between 1 and 4.
Well, if you're running at a high resolution and like a modern advanced games at 60 frames per second, you could probably make it run down pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on what game you're playing, obviously, and it depends on your settings. But if you set it down the frame rate a little bit and some of the other things, you should be able to get it about 2 hours, 2.5.
And doesn't the Steam Deck have, is it FSR or DLS on it? You guys aren't tech heads, so you won't know. I think it might have DLS. Let me double check.
No idea. But it definitely works. It is. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a handheld guy anymore. I wanted the Steam Deck. I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to play Steam games on the go or in my bed. And I've played like 3 games. I played the Ninja Turtle game on it. I played Crano, and I played a little bit of Moonlighter.
Yeah, I hate playing my Switch in handheld. I think because I'm getting older, my eyes are failing me. I prefer it docked.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's the eyes. I think because you got to kind of hold it up a little, right? So I don't have a big belly to just lean it on. So I can kind of hold it up, and my arms and shoulders hurt from work. So it's like,
Potion reckons you shouldn't be playing longer than 1 to 4 hours. I mean, I wish I had the stamina to game longer, but I just want to do something else. Maybe back when I was smoking a lot of weed, I could just sit there and play games for hours and hours and hours. But I'm an old man now.
Yeah, I get told off if I spend any longer than an hour.
I play hours and hours and hours of games, just not on handheld, and no one can tell me shit.
Yeah, and it kind of depends on the game if I get hooked enough. If it's an MMO, I don't play MMOs because I get massively addicted to them. Last time I played Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter, I was getting up in the morning, having breakfast, and playing like all day long. Like I was literally living in the world.
You played it?
Yeah,
you played Neverwinter too? Huh?
Yeah, do you play Neverwinter?
I was playing it on the PS5. The PS4.
I've got it on PS5. I've still got like 100 hours in it at the moment.
I had to stop myself. I'm like you, Bob. I was playing it, and I'm like, fuck, that's all I'm playing. Like, I'm not doing anything else but playing fucking Neverwinter.
Yeah. I was getting to the point where I was looking for groups to do the high-level stuff. I got all the way into, you know how you can complete the campaign, the main story, and then you've got like the campaign section. So I started doing all of those as well, and I was doing the Tiamat one and all the expansion stuff. I was getting so deep into that game.
You know what I hated about that game, and I know we're getting off track from the Steam Deck, but you would get like certain missions, and maybe they fixed it, and maybe it's no longer. But when I was playing it, they would have like certain missions, but if you got too high of a level, they would just disappear, and you wouldn't be able to complete them anymore.
Oh yeah, I think I seem to remember something like that. Yeah, it was weird. Some missions just disappeared, man. You know, Neverwinter would probably run well on the Steam Deck.
Don't tell me, Bob. Don't tell me. Yeah, I had to stop myself from playing Stardew Valley. Yeah, the games that don't end, right? The games that go on forever. I could just keep playing them and I get addicted, and then I'm like, shit, what am I doing? Why am I playing Avengers, this crappy game, every fucking day for like 4 hours? Especially when they have the little fucking like daily quest or whatever. Because then you're like, oh shit, I'm just gonna play until I'm gonna do my dailies and that's it. And then like 6 hours later, you're like, fuck, what'd I do?
Yeah, if they hadn't completely fucked up the upgrading system in Avengers, I might have picked it back up again. But the way you got to break down armor to upgrade armor just seems so long to me. You literally have to collect mythic.
But you don't. You really don't, Bob, because let me take this Chiron off real quick. I think we're done talking about Steam Deck. With the Avengers now, you have to have a higher level item in order to, but you could just, until you hit the level cap, right? It doesn't matter. So it's a waste of time to even like, well, I'm going to keep this one and build it up and just fucking take the higher level one and fucking trash the other one.
Right. Okay.
Because there's no point, because once you hit like a 150 power level, you're going to start getting the unique ones.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you're going to want to keep anyway. So anything prior to that, it was just a waste of time and mechanics.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I had issues with the online because the leveling matchmaking was really bad as well. I was either getting people who were above level from me, so they were just storming through everything and it was taking me too long to kill stuff, and then or people who were lower level than me, and then I was
just fly through it,
and they weren't holding up their end, so it was just so unbalanced.
Well, I don't like it now. Online, because the matchmaking is like I'll be sitting in the queue for like fucking an hour before, then you'll see people pop in and then they pop out and they pop in and pop out. And I'm like, fuck, just 4 of you stay together. Then they were running this stupid fucking event where if you completed different mission types, but you had to complete it with the same 2 characters in your team, so like 2 Captain Americas or 2 Hulks, and no one wanted to, like, I would change to be whatever I'm gonna do the Captain America one, so I would change to be a Captain America. Then the fucking Captain America guy would change his fucking guy. I'd like, stop doing that shit. I can't complete any of these events if you guys aren't fucking helping me out with this shit.
Yeah.
So I haven't played it in a while. I'm probably now gonna play it because you guys reminded me that it exists.
Is the single player campaign worth playing on its own then without going online?
Yeah,
it's decent, but it's short.
Right. The DLC that came out for it, is that single player or is that all just for multiplayer?
Single player.
Right. Because I have it downloaded. I'm in the unfortunate position that I'm also currently playing a game that has no end in FIFA. So.
Well, the series has an ending.
Installed. Which one?
FIFA. It's the last FIFA ever being made.
Thank fuck for that. No, 23 is, yeah. FIFA have pulled the license from EA.
Well, they didn't pull the license. They jacked up the price.
Yeah. Priced them out of it. More than they were willing to pay.
Speaking of the Avengers game, aren't they supposed to have the Winter Soldier? Isn't he supposed to be coming out pretty soon?
For what? Marvel?
For the game, for the fucking Avengers game.
Don't care anymore.
Because they just released Mighty Thor. And then supposedly the Winter Soldier is the next one coming out.
I'm deleting that game next time I turn on my PlayStation 5.
Are these paid DLCs, Tony, or are they free?
No, it's free.
Okay. I'm gonna have
You
to
get
give
all
it
the
a
characters
look.
free.
Yeah, I gotta give it a look. I have to try it.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible either.
Better than Spider-Man or not?
No,
No way.
No.
Completely different league again.
But Spider-Man is if you got the PlayStation version. Spider-Man's in it.
Yeah, but he's trash.
No, he's pretty good.
After playing the PlayStation 4, 5 Spider-Man games, the way he handles in that just doesn't feel right.
You're a complainer, Bob.
No, I'm just saying.
Bob's just angry since he opened that box. Aren't you, Bob?
Hey. Either way, Winter Soldier's next character coming. I'm excited. I want to see it. But with that said, we got to do what we got to do and talk about our weekly polls. Not only did we have weekly ones, but we had, for the first time ever, a poll here right on the chat. As you can see, the question was, should we do daily streams? And thankfully, out of the 68 people who voted, there's only 17 people watching, but 68 of you voted somehow. 46% said yes, do daily streams. 54% said no. I will end the poll. Looks like we're off the hook, Bob.
It's the Scottish independence results. Did you see that, Bob?
Yeah.
50.
And you're also lying. We've done polls in the stream before.
You calling me a liar, Bob?
Yes, and a cyberbully.
Well, that one's obvious.
No,
also,
cyberbully.
During this live stream, we have a.
I don't. Sorry.
That's it. That's all. I was just saying we had a new sub.
Yeah, I don't know if Potion Sword Run started calling you a cyberbully first, or I did. Probably Potion.
Probably.
Potion's usually on the ball.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
It's probably Potion.
All right, so let us take a look at the polls. They were very interesting this week. 96 votes. Do you think non-full-size arcade cabinets like Arcade 1-Up or iArcade are worth the retail price? 34% said yes, they are well made. 66% said no, they are trash.
Hey,
I was gonna buy a bunch, but the polls have spoken. Trash.
Haters, just haters.
Then we asked, is the Evercade worth talking about? 109 votes. I was really excited to talk about the Evercade. 36% said yes. 64% said no. I guess no Evercade talk on the channel, Bob.
Haters, just haters.
Then
you can go see. Sorry, you can go and see Pete for all that. He does that now.
yeah, the Ever Canadian.
Yeah.
All right. So this was just an announcement that looks like I'm getting canceled again. Kermit the Frog King bullies the Arcade 1-Up community. Great video from Potion Sword Run. Check it out if you haven't. We announced that we were reacting to Rainwater Games. He got scared. 3 days ago, it says, on Tuesday, I hosted a live stream where we talked about YouTube's guidelines and policies on contests, as well as their, supposed to say, fake engagement policy. Did you find it interesting? 63% said yes. Thanks for going over that. 37% said no. That was a boring stream. 79 votes, Bob.
That's very interesting. I mean, it kind of goes to prove what people come here for. They come here for the facts and to be
To be bored
informed
shitless.
and to get the true details of a situation.
All right. That was it. Those were the polls for the week. Thank you all for participating. We will have new polls. With that said, I think we had a good show, 3 hours and 15 minutes. I don't think I want to play some games. Max is doing a 24-hour live stream. He's very upset with YouTube. He says YouTube has demonetized everybody. Nobody has monetization.
Isn't Mad Max always late for his streams because he's asleep? How's he going to do
Yes.
24 hours?
Yes. So he's doing 24 hours. So I'm going to hop on and hassle him. If you want to come watch, I'm putting the link in the chat. Boom. There it is. I suggest you click on it, give Max a like, watch. Max will end up sleeping. Yeah, he probably is. That's why I'm going to go on there and hassle him. So again, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate Bob, Finbar. I appreciate all of you for listening to us and just hanging out. Love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.